All right, we're live.
Make sure that you introduce me.
I don't know if anyone heard that last part
Yeah,
or
they
not, but
definitely must have.
you don't need context. It's fine. Welcome, everyone. My name is Speedy. Welcome, NotSoSpeedRuns. We're here with our return to 6 and 20 Metropolis, our awesome game here in City of Mist. It's good to see you people, you lovely people all here in chat. Thank you, Loke, for that sub while we
You're
were on the
welcome.
screen. Much appreciated. For those of you just coming in, welcome, Chumley, Wise and Fool, everyone from the 6 and 20 community. We're going to be getting started here in just a second, but as we do so, why don't we start like we usually do by going around to our cast and talking to them or whatever. Starting with the meta. How you doing? How's life? How are you? Who are you?
Hi, Metamancer. Life is super busy and exciting and exhausting. Yay! I'm excited to play. I was really nervous that Johnny was going to cancel because I already had another game canceled on me this week, and I was like, this is going to be the worst day of my life. And I play Morrigan on the show, and she's a badass, awesome person and does all the right things all the time and is like super nice to everybody and is like the most decent person in all of the city.
Have you seen this show?
Have you met your character?
Oh, I don't know what you're talking about.
In which half?
I plead the fifth. Yay! I'm definitely the good guy.
In your own mind.
Oh yeah, totally in your own mind.
All right, Trendane, why don't you do some stuff?
Well, I'm, as he said, actually, he's not over there. He's down there. Sorry. Where was it? Trendane, right. Yeah, so I'm Trend Sparks. I'm a professional voice actor person who does stuff. And I'm so happy to be able to announce this finally. So you guys know that, at the very least, Johnny knows, that I've been narrating the BattleTech audiobook Embers of War. What I have not been able to say up until last night when I got permission is that I also did some voice work in the upcoming BattleTech game from Harebrained Schemes. So that has a launch range of around April that game will be coming out. So I can't talk about the game itself or what I did in the game, but I got BattleTech going all over the place. So it's like, yeah! I mean, it's
Congrats, Trent.
Thank you very much. There was a lot of booze on that screen just now.
Yeah, I know. That scared me. We're celebrating today.
No one saw that. Wow. No one saw that. I don't know what you're talking about. That was
You're right. Nobody saw anything. What were you asking, Meta?
What?
You were about to ask something.
I don't remember.
Okay, good. That means I don't have to answer anything. Woo.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you very much. I am playing Calvin Gannicus, who is a satyr, who is probably coming out from under one of the very few hangovers he's had in his life, but still a bit morose, I would imagine. And yeah, it's going to be very interesting to see what happens as this evening goes on and more evidence comes to light.
Without weird vagina flowers.
What? Oh,
The jackal flower.
The jackal fruit, yeah, jackal food.
jackal food flower.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm so glad I found those. I'm so glad I found those in my web search. I was like, shit, I got to be able to find a flower that's appropriate. I'm like, a jackal flower. I'm like,
Morgan's just going to get into her off office and there's just going to be jackal flowers everywhere. And I'll be like, oh, shit.
They know.
All right. Then.
So let's see. What else? McLoken.
Hi, I'm McLoken. I do stuff on the internet. You might like it when I present you with this nice water bottle for subscribing for the timeshare that I'm going to offer to you right now.
What is going on?
Now, for 2 weeks a month, you could stay at this lovely residence. Just for $500,000. 2 weeks.
What is happening?
the story of my life. Yeah, I am a broadcaster here on Twitch. I'm also a DM. I do stuff with Dungeons and Dragons, and I play in another wonderful campaign. That's all I do. I have a daytime job that I go to. I know. I'm one of those
Blasphemy.
people. I do.
Don't say that. My immersion.
I do recordings for voice recordings. So sometimes when you call into certain companies and you're like, that sounds like McLoken, it might be me. There we go. I'm gonna give it back to Speedy because I'm just gonna keep rambling on, and I can do that for probably another 3 hours. So
Those are called IVR, by the way.
are they called IVR? They didn't tell me. They're just like, here, record this, here's money, and I'm like,
Interactive
okay,
voice recording. Yeah.
yeah.
Nice. Neat. And I'm Speedy. This is my channel. You can find me here playing games. I've been doing a little bit more streaming. I just picked up Into the Breach, so good. And tonight, I'm playing as Giovanni, our friendly neighborhood bartender who, he just can't seem to get a break and keeps getting dragged into all this investigation mess with these lot. I'm happy to be back here and playing again. And with that, I'll turn things over to Johnny, our MC. Actually, really quickly before I do that, a couple of announcements. First, there's a tweet out. Screw you, Johnny. There's a tweet out. You should go ahead and retweet it. And go follow NotSoSpeedRuns and stuff like that on Twitter. Make sure you let everyone know that we're here. Also, City of Mist, the game that we're playing. Super awesome guys who've been supporting the show since the beginning, and now they're off tweeting about us and stuff, and we're on their website, and you can go ahead and go to their website and you can buy a copy of this awesome game that we're all playing with a $5 discount code using the code 6and20fan. That's all words, all lowercase.
I may have purchased a book and used that code.
So I got a question for you then. So there's this person who's in chat called Son of a Dragon. That person involved in any of that stuff?
No, it's only Son of Oak.
Are you sure?
Mm-hmm.
All right. There's a bunch of sons of stuff.
Sons of Anarchy.
Yeah. Son of a bitch. That would be me.
Son of Guns.
Son of
Whatever it may
Biscuit.
be.
Johnny, this is going to go out of hand very quickly.
Yeah, I
Son
was
of a
wondering.
video store cowboy.
Oh, Johnny, we need to break the game tonight.
Yeah.
No,
Oh,
he's
you're
not
gonna break the
playing
game
that this
anyways.
week.
I'm fully expecting Morrigan to break the game again by killing somebody else.
Okay, hold on now. That was 100% narrative hook for you. And yes, that was for you.
It worked out. Look at Cal. Look what Cal is.
know.
Look at what you did.
Great. I have so much influence.
Cal has friends.
Goddess of fate.
I got to see a shot of Jules from that Tarantino movie. Yes, you did, Brad. Yes, you did. Oh my God! All right,
Speedy, are we done with announcements?
No.
Oh, okay. All right, I'm gonna go back to you.
No, that's all we have for announcements. So thank you guys, and we will go ahead and get started. Johnny, our DM here, our MC, sorry.
Here's Johnny.
All right, master of ceremonies, whatever. Okay, so without further ado, let's.
I was waiting for the blanket to finish it. It just kept going.
I was waiting for McLoken to sell me that water bottle again.
Oh,
All right,
here.
before this gets any worse.
Okay, yep.
Previously on 6 and 20, Metropolis.
Oh wait, no.
You could do that if you'd like. I mean, it is kind of. All right, great. Running down a lead with the skulls, Morrigan and Detective Roth discover Manny bruised, beaten, and vulnerable. After a late night of questioning, the crew goes back to their normal lives. Cal gets drunk and mourns the loss of a random soul. Johnny plays boy detective and follows the lead. Gio runs into a regular customer and taps into the rumor mill. And Morrigan meets a patient for the first time. When Cal wakes from his drunken stupor, he finds himself face to face with the random soul's friends. A bad encounter later, he has a new lead for the crew. And Johnny continues his detective work, heads to Acer Industries, and encounters an old acquaintance as we fade in to the lobby of Acer Industries. Well, Harold turns to you and says, "What are you doing here, lad?"
I was coming to see you because you gave me your card. You said you had to work for me, and I like money because I eat a lot.
Well, you'll never want for food if you're working for me, but money comes with that as well. But you didn't seem all that interested when we first spoke. Why the change?
I was working a job at that moment. I can't just be like, it's really rude just to quit a job and be like, I'm going to go work for that man I just met.
That's commonplace in the Bay Area. Sorry.
It has happened to me too. Yes, I agree. Harold kind of looks down at you. That's okay. I appreciate having a work ethic. But really, is being a caterer, working for a catering service on the same level as doing work for me here at Acer Industries? And he kind of like does a flourish where he kind of shows you the beautiful building that you're in.
Oh, I mean, I don't even know what I'd be doing. That's why I came here to figure it out, to see if I would even fit in.
And he looks over to the receptionist. Has this young man been checked in yet? Well, yes. Actually, he appears to be looking for.
There's a story behind that. You were kind of intimidating me, but I was actually talking to what I found out is your father, Mr. Gallows. That's his name.
And you see him get dark a little bit. You see his disposition kind of change for just a second. Yes.
Well, it's actually not what I accidentally broke a VCR and I went to go repair it. So I did that. But he told me he knew I was coming over here to talk to you, but he wanted me to send a message to what's her name? It's your sister. I can't remember her name right now. I do remember her name. I'm playing that off if anyone's asking. I can't remember her name. It wasn't important. He said he's been trying to call her and he hasn't received anything back. But that was the only thing I had to tell. But my main thing is to come here and see you.
I think I'm going to need a convince out of this.
Okay. I'm trying to see what I'm seeing what I can roll for this. Can I use impressive and indomitable?
Okay. Keep going.
Indomitable being like very confident in what I'm saying. Impressive because Johnny pulled this out of his ass. Yeah, that's all I got. I'm still looking at my weakness tags right now. I just ate. This might be a face of nemesis for the simple fact that it's not his actual nemesis, but this is the person he wasn't supposed to be interacting with, and he was trying to avoid. So he might have that as a weakness. He's the nemesis in the situation.
Yes. I agree with you. I agree with you about the weakness tag.
Okay.
In respect to the power tags, I think impressive works because he called you strapping, so he knows something. He knows something really. He knows something about you, right? So he respects you in some way because of that, right? It's almost like he can see through. I need to be sold on the indomitable part, because it seems like that's more of in a physically intimidating situation, and he's clearly not physically intimidating you right now.
No, he's not physically, but indomitable also has to deal with mentally. So putting yourself in a mindset of determination or having an indomitable will.
Okay.
That's where I'm coming with indomitable on that one.
All right, that sounds fine then.
Because with indomitable, he's already invulnerable, so that's indomitable really has to do with his mind.
Right. Okay.
And that's how we relate that with Johnny.
All right. Then I'm in for that. So go ahead.
Okay. So it'd be at a 1 + 1. Let's do +1. This is a convince roll. I don't know what I got.
You got a
7. Okay.
All right. So as I closed all my books after reading them earlier, so you get something from him in this respect, but you don't convince him completely of what's going on. So he looks at you and he says, "Oh, well, you spoke to my father. And he looks a little irritated about that, but he kind of brushes it off almost immediately. It's a quick sort of physical tell that he's not pleased with his father. He says, do you have the message? I actually know where my sister is, and I can pass it along to her."
Oh, he said call her back. He's been trying to call her.
Okay. Well, I'll relay the message. I'm not really sure she's going to respect or respond to that, but all right. And he says,
Well, thank you for doing that for me.
"No problem." So, again, you're here now for a job. Why don't I take you up to my office and why don't we talk a little bit more about what you're capable of?
Okay.
And he escorts you to the elevator. As you can see now that there are 2 bodyguards that are just waiting sort of at a distance, and they didn't walk in at the same time he does, but those 2 bodyguards kind of step up to the elevator and hang out at the side of the elevator doors as they close. And we're going to cut to Gio. Gio, where are you? It's the night is beginning to fall.
Gio's had a long night at work, and like the crowds it was never really that packed, but the last of the people have kind of trickled out, and Gio is just sort of sitting at the bar. He's done all the cleaning. He's ready to go home in every sense, but he's just sort of sitting there, kind of deciding where he should go, or whether to bother going home. And eventually, after sitting there for quite some time with a drink in his hand, he'll pick up the phone and call Morrigan.
You're muted.
I was waiting for that.
I know. I was like, I forgot to click it, but the hand motion was already happening, so.
Take 2.
Okay. This is Morgan.
Hey, did you find anything else? What you've been doing?
Yeah, except for I have a bad feeling I haven't been able to reach Johnny. So the license plate on the video that you guys saw belongs to a woman named Trisha Bjorn, who apparently is somewhere at Esper. I don't really know much more than that. But Johnny messaged me and told me that he was going to go see her, but I never told him her name, so I don't know what information he got.
Bjorn, that's Mr. Gallows, or related to him, right?
Yeah, it was Harold. Harold is his son. I don't know how Trisha relates to that.
All right. Well, do you get an address of where Trisha lives?
It's just reference to the business, Aesir. I don't know. I can try to text Johnny again because he seemed to know where she was.
Yeah, do that. If that doesn't work out, let me know. We can meet up and. Have you heard from Cal at all?
Not recently. I was going to ask if you wanted to give him a call since you know him better than me.
I'll do that. I wanted to make sure. All right.
Okay. Do you want me to meet you guys at Xanadu or Aesir?
Let's make it Aesir.
Okay. I'll meet you outside.
Will do. Boop, 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 boop.
Boop, 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 boop.
Cal?
Gannicus.
Hey, Cal, you all right?
Yeah, just hang on. Let me turn the volume down on the phone. What's that, Gio?
Yeah, I just talked to Morrigan. We're gonna go check out, Asia Industries. Apparently, Patricia Bjorn, was last seen there. She's the one who owned the car. But, you, I mean, you feeling up to it?
Yeah, just,
You want me to come over?
no,
I can bring you coffee.
no. Where do you want me to meet you?
Asia Industries, 1 hour.
I might be a little late, but I'll be there.
Okay. Let me know if you need anything.
And he just hangs up.
Always with the drunks. All right. I'll go ahead and get ready to go to Asia.
Is there anything special that you're going to do, like to prep to meet Morrigan there and Cal?
No, I don't think so. I would maybe do a little bit of digging, a little bit more Googling on who Morrigan is. But that's about it. And maybe on Patricia, too.
Do you want to roll an investigate roll for that?
No, I don't think I'm gonna... I don't expect to really find anything new from that. Unless you think there's something to be learned there. I'm just Googling.
She is a public figure. You do know a little bit about her, but she is a public figure.
All right, I can roll for it.
Do it.
My ace Google skills.
Remind me again what Aesir Industries does.
It hasn't been established yet.
Probably
We would've
consulting or something.
Okay.
Something generic.
I'm working on it.
No, it's. I mean, do you want to know what they do? I mean, are you asking what would be public knowledge about Aesir Industries?
Yes.
They do a variety of. It's sort of like oh God, what is the best example? They would be in manufacturing. They would be in consulting. For they would be manufacturing material goods. They would be a little bit into weapons and research, a little bit into the pharmaceuticals. So they have it would be a wide portfolio. They basically are more like a company that acquires other companies, and then they usually have a division that solves that. So they are a pretty big,
Okay.
like
Unilever or
Conglomerate was exactly what I was
Halliburton.
kind of.
Yeah, much along the same lines.
Okay.
Although, yeah, there's a couple things that they specifically don't do, and if that comes up, then you'll figure that out.
All right. Go ahead and roll. All right.
Yeah. So instead of Googling, you went to Booble and ended up losing about 30 minutes as you were just missing, having a woman in your life.
That's fair.
You could even argue that he ended up on YouTube and just started watching YouTube videos. Happens to me all the time.
Yeah.
Another cat.
Oh, I wasn't gonna. Well, since he started at Booble, I wasn't gonna say that it was YouTube, but hey.
And it wasn't
Whatever.
cats.
If I didn't add any power tags to that, would adding local rumors and reveal hidden methods get me anything about that? Anything above a complete miss?
Local rumors might argue hidden methods here, because that's typically you apply that to things that are that you can physically see, right?
Yeah. I mean, I imagine it's much in the same vein where reveal hidden methods, kind of like with my mythos, which hasn't been revealed, where there's some sort of dedication, something driving him to uncover and figure out what here is false, what is being hidden from plain view, what is all of this text, all of these news stories, what are they dancing around, what isn't being shown.
Sure, except that you're doing a random Google search.
Correct.
And you didn't specify anything specific that you were trying to dig into, other than you wanted to Google about Morrigan. Kane.
It's a very good point.
So the next time that you do an investigation role of this kind, if you talk about some specifics, we can talk about you figuring out the holes in that.
All right.
And that will make much more sense in my head.
Okay, fair enough.
All right. So we'll cut to Morrigan, who is just ending her day of psychiatry or therapy, or seeing patients.
Yeah. What I'm going to do before I head off is actually also do a Google search. Funny enough, because I want to know who the company leaders are of Acer.
I feel like we need to come up with a better name we need its own specific search engine to the city. So I nominate you guys to figure that out.
Okay.
I'm on it.
McLoken will
Esper.
get that done. Got Apollo for us.
Yeah, Apollo was such a great inspiration. It's what?
Sage.
Instead of Google?
Mm-hmm.
Why Sage? Just out of curiosity. Forget it. I know why.
It's like, what kind of question is that?
So I'm going to sage things. I'm going to search for things on the internet.
You're going to search for things on the internet. Okay. All right.
Regarding
No, I'm gonna ask the sage, and then that's how
it's like Ask Jeeves, but Ask Sage.
Yeah, I was just gonna say that.
Okay. Regardless, I'm looking specifically for information regarding the leadership that's prevalent at Acer as far as public knowledge goes, because obviously I can't get into their personnel files, but who is head of the operations, marketing, etc., that kind of stuff.
Okay. So this is an investigate role. What tags are you applying here?
Honestly, nothing. I'm just going to do a straight roll. She doesn't have any, she can't use her connections because it's just online search. She's not physically psychoanalyzing or using psychology on anybody, and everything else is all physical presence. So just straight
Okay. All right, go ahead and roll it.
Nice.
What? No, that's wrong. -4.
It's 11.
11. Yeah. I took the things off, but it still rolled with them.
We know Roll20 is great that way.
Yeah, it's a great tool. I literally have no power tag selected and nothing in my status effects, and yet
It's trying to curry favor with you, is what it is.
You
thought there was no physical presence stuff? That's what it is.
Having looked at the code for this character sheet, it's
bad. It's really bad.
Yeah.
I've given up coding multiple times. Because of that. I was working on a new one, right?
No, I did not know that, and we should have a conversation after this, because I want to hear the story. But for right now,
yes,
you do phenomenally well here, right? You get essentially all of their marketing material that's available online. You get access to the financial reports for the last 10 years, kind of a thing, because through the Financial Times of the city, they've got all that stuff archived. You get all the gritty details, and the things that you find out that are really interesting are Harold Bjorn is the chairman and CEO of Acer Industries. He has been since his father stepped down a number of years ago. That catches you as a red flag, because you can't seem to find a date when Mr. Gallows, or Oscar Bjorn as he's known in the company records, Oscar Bjorn stepped down and Harold Bjorn stepped up. And so Trisha has no direct involvement in the company. Sorry, guys, had a short little brown out there. Trisha Bjorn has no direct involvement in the management of the company, although she is a significant shareholder, only behind her brother, who is, essentially a stepbrother, and her father. Her father still has the controlling interest, but has given control of that interest over to Harold at this time. Of the rest of the board of directors, they're mostly nameless individuals, figureheads, that kind of a thing. There doesn't appear to be any names that stand out to you right now as being significant on their, on their executive staff. They are currently looking to replace their chief essentially their chief research officer. There's another name for it. I can't remember what it is, but like the person who leads essentially the research and development division or all the other efforts of the company. They're currently trying to replace that particular person. And that's the only other thing that kind of stands out as significant for you.
Okay. Is there any mention of like head of security or anything like that? Or if there's like a service?
Surprisingly, no.
Okay. Got it. Okay. I have written the notes. As far as the other like figureheads, are there pictures of them?
Absolutely. There. Okay. I mean, it's basically like any, company's essentially about section, right? They've got significant, information about each of these individuals, pictures, bios. In some cases, you see some, links to external articles that were written where they do either white papers or essays, or they do, guest coverage on some, significant event. Or a piece of information, but for the most part, it seems like from what you're reading here that the Bjorn family has a significant amount of control and influence over what goes on at the day-to-day of the company.
Based on the financial reports, would I say that the company is doing well?
Based on the financial reports.
Like in a trending scenario where the markets, like...
They've never not done well, according to all the records that you find. And it's interesting because I just gave you 3 or 4 clues and you didn't use any power tags. And it's a 1-to-1 for clues to power tags. So that's awesome. That's awesome for this time, but we need to think about that the next time. But anyways, yeah. But so there's all that. All of this is really kind of public record, and so a lot of that kind of makes sense for you. But it's the inferences of it's obvious that the Bjorn family has complete control. It's obvious that the company is doing incredibly well. They're just, as you kind of dig in and find all this information, it's just, you do find one other piece of information. You find that Trisha is actually quite the socialite and is often in the company of Megan when you look at the society pages or the society blogs or what have you, as you're kind of Googling through. Or sorry, saging through.
No, it's called looking for wisdom.
Oh, I'm sorry. You're right. I'm sorry. As you were looking for wisdom.
Great.
Ask
Thanks, Sage. I feel very wise today.
So what's the Sage? What's Sage's voice service called?
Oh. Misty.
Siren.
Ooh, yep.
Hey, Siren is what you see.
Do you want to know? Do you want to know what we also came up with?
Okay, Siren. Look up Acer Industries.
And it's always it's always 3 voices in harmony.
We also made a Pandora soda called Saga. So,
oh yeah, that happened earlier. This is what happens.
We're the most creative fucking team. Okay,
it's the gamer soda.
It's the gamer soda.
Yeah.
Saga.
Yeah. Saga. Yeah.
I love it.
Okay,
All
thank you for all that valuable information, Sage.
You mean Siren?
No, I was manually typing all this out. On my way into the location, though, Siren is going to turn up the tunes in my car.
Okay, so but you just typed "Thank you, Sage."
No, I was talking to my computer screen.
I do that with Siri.
I say thank you to Siri all the time, but I was just wondering because you said Sage. I'm like, what? All right. Okay.
Oh, Iris, nonstop nice because it's Siri backwards, and that's good. I like that.
Instant research information service.
Wisdom is in the eye of the beholder. So, Iris.
Yeah,
I like it.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you, Iris.
Sage, Iris.
Sage and Iris. All right. So Morgan is currently driving off towards ACR Industries, and we're going to cut to Calvin. Where are we finding Calvin?
Calvin is just climbing out of the shower and is drying off, which takes him a little longer than most people because he's got more body hair than most people, especially on his lower half. But he doesn't really care that much. He's going through the park. So he gets dressed and grabs a handful of grapes as a snack and heads off and cuts through the park. And as always, going to the park just makes him feel better. And by the time he gets to the other side of the park, he's already, called ride service on his, like a low grade Apollo on his service, and his chariot awaits on the other side of the park. So by the time he gets there, he's actually feeling much more his oats, something like that. I think it's how it goes, guys. Of course it's grapes, Grace. Yes, absolutely. What the hell else would it be? Kiwis, little fuzzy nuts you're gonna rub all over. Anyway, so kiwis and a banana. I love doing that in cafeteria. That's so awesome. So anyway, EA hated me for that. Anyway, so he gets the thing and he heads over towards Aesir.
All right. And so the three of you basically arrive at the same time.
I'll look Cal over.
He looks okay, but only okay.
Rough day?
Yeah, pretty rough. So what are we doing here?
Johnny is somewhere inside, even though I didn't ask him to go in there, so not good.
Why?
Well, if the person that Megan went with is here, when we don't know what the motivations or reasoning was, I can't imagine it's necessarily safe, and he's still a kid, so.
So what is our purpose here?
To find Johnny and maybe Trisha or whoever. Maybe Megan's here. I don't know.
Yeah, get whatever info we can, I guess.
At the very least, maybe we can get into the personnel files and get more information.
Oh boy.
Unless you have another suggestion, I'm completely open to that.
No, it's that's going to be very difficult.
Yep, I agree.
I mean,
maybe Gio can help us out.
I can schmooze as much as I want, but at the end of the day, I'm still a bartender. You're a therapist who works with the cops. You might have a better chance than me.
I don't know. I need to review your personnel files to find if there's any mentally unstable people. I mean, I can't really pull that one off.
Yeah, well, saying I need to review your personnel files because I know this guy needs a drink doesn't work that well either. But I think I can do something.
Okay.
We should go inside, though. Johnny might need help.
Yeah, I agree.
Seen what that kid can do?
Yeah, that's not what I'm afraid of. Well, actually, yeah, that's what I'm afraid of.
I mean, if he's in need of help, half this building is coming down in the process.
Yeah, so we should hurry.
Okay.
And as you're heading inside, Morrigan, you get a text from Derek. Hey, give me a call when you get a chance. And we're going to cut to Johnny currently stuffing his face. Actually, where we find Johnny is he's having the time of his life. He is.
Go on.
About that job.
He is in a contest of, feats with Harold. Because Harold takes him upstairs to his office, and his office has this desk, and it's kind of in the back of the room. There's this beautiful view, but the rest of the room is filled with weights and various, apparatuses of, strength and feats. And at first, Johnny, I'm sure you feel a little intimidated by this, but he encourages you, and he says, hey, give this a try this, and he kind of picks something up and he lifts it, and it's incredibly, what it looks like incredibly heavy, but he just kind of throws it to you.
What is it, like a huge dumbbell?
Yes.
I would like to say it's like, so we recently were at a gym and they had the 100-pound like bicep lifter right there. I want to say it's that, and he just like catches it. Like it's huge, and it's got like the
kettlebell?
Yeah, like, and so he's just like, well, yeah, I did it. Yeah. Da 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 da. The Final Fantasy?
Says,
no? Okay.
And he says, not bad. Try something else.
Pick up that forklift.
I actually go and like the machine with all the weights on it, like that one, and it's probably got like a more like a higher amount of weights that a normal machine would have.
Correct.
So he just comes over to the machine itself and just picks it up, and he's like, all right.
Excellent. Now give this a try. And he picks up what looks like a ball and he throws it at you.
But as it throws at me, this is what happens. Like something clicks in Johnny. It's not the fact that like he's gonna catch it. It's like it feels like an attack. So Johnny just punches it and explodes it. And he's like, oh, I'm sorry.
And as you punch it and it explodes, 1,000 shards of marble just kind of scatter across the room as you hear Harold laughing, a deep, hearty laugh. And for the first time, you see that his suit and his tie is kind of loose a little bit. And just behind his tie, you see a little emblem, a pendant of some kind, kind of hanging there. And it catches your eye and glints.
What does it look like?
You're not close enough to see it yet.
Okay. Yeah, so you see Johnny, he's just like trying to gather all these marbles right now, and he's like,
don't worry about it. I've got plenty of people that can help us with that. Come over here and sit down. And
okay, and he's like walking very delicately so he doesn't slip on the marbles.
They're not marbles.
Like, what are they?
Marble. It's one chunk of marble that you just shattered into pieces.
It's a huge piece.
I thought it was a ball full of marbles. So I was like,
that would be awesome.
Why?
Who has that? I mean, I guess who has a giant marble ball?
I mean, that it's a good way to like someone who has super strength, throw marbles under their feet, and they're like, oh, and then they fall over, and then they can't get back up because they're super strength and all the marbles all over. My bad. Okay, so yeah, he's just like, oh, okay, and just walks over. All right, if there's no marbles and he's not going to home loan this shit, that's fine.
Nice. Okay, and so as you're, he walks you over, to this couch. He says, "Have a seat," and he walks over to a bar, and he begins to pour 2 large drafts of something out of a tap. And he hands you over, and it's this big, kind of, stein. He says, "Here," and he points to, it's like, over there. That's where I keep all my snacks. So,
he's like a silhouette of smoke that he's talking to, and he's already at the cabinet, like,
And so when you turn around and you're starting to walk back with snacks, you see him just sort of casually sitting there, and he's kind of undoing his tie a little bit, and he's crossing his leg, just kind of relaxing. So Johnny, you're pretty good with difficult challenges here. You can do some very interesting things. What do you plan to do with that?
Oh, I like working at my dad's arcade. I get to work on the electronics and like fix the machines. So I get to be very delicate, and it's a challenge. That's a bigger challenge, being really delicate with everything, and not making sure you don't break anything. Because even like the little slightest hiccup, the machine breaks because I put it in across the room. So yeah.
Do you want to do anything else with your life?
I mean, I really haven't thought. I'm still in school and stuff. So yeah. At this time, I'm like walking up and like, and he's like eating stuff, casually. He's just like, and then he's taking a look at the necklace if he can see it.
And as you get closer, you can see that there is a little medallion pendant kind of a thing. It's not an actual circle medallion, but it's like a charm of some kind. And when you look at it, it's an incredibly small hammer.
Okay.
He says, "Have a seat, please."
You sit down.
Now, what if I could offer you some extra after school work? And then you can see if there's an opportunity there for you to come work for me personally.
Like an internship for like college credits?
Sure, but I'm not sure how academic it's going to be.
Well, I mean, it just has to be on paper, right?
It might get a little tough. I mean, that's why I kind of asked you up here to show me what you can do. Do you think you can handle yourself in a situation, Johnny?
I mean, what's the situation? I mean, if it's a hamburger, yes.
There are plenty of hamburgers here, Johnny. We can make sure that is a situation that happens often.
I like the sound of that.
Okay. Now, let me ask you this. Do you have any problems getting into a fight?
Well, yeah. I mean, you shouldn't fight people just to fight people.
No,
you fight people to protect them.
I'm not suggesting to fight just to fight, but to defend yourself. Can you defend yourself?
I think so.
Okay. Well, here. This is my personal phone number. And he hands you a card.
Okay.
And on it, you see, his name. You see Acer Industries. And on the back, there is a monogram in the shape of a hammer. And he says, when you're sure that you want to do this, you come back and you give me a call, and I will have plenty of work for you whenever you're available.
Oh, okay.
I want you to be sure about this.
All right.
And he kind of says, and come back anytime, and we'll have a little bit more fun. I've got all kinds of challenges for a strapping young lad like yourself.
He's like, okay, that'll be interesting because you're one of the few people that don't fall over when I bump into them. So,
and he kind of flexes a little bit. He's like, feel that.
I go,
and it's as solid as any muscle that you've ever felt.
Okay. He's just like, oh, okay, that's a nice bicep you have there. What do you guys do here?
Plenty. We have a diverse offering of products and services. What I would be asking you to do, though, Johnny, would be to work directly for me in physical security.
Who do you have on security now?
A couple of trusted individuals, but I'm always looking for more to help me.
Are they like us?
Nobody is quite like you, Johnny, but yes, they do have their peculiarities.
Well, that's interesting to know. So, I've been meaning to ask you. Did you hear about Miss Phoebe?
Miss Dare, yes. I was at the party that you were at when she disappeared. That's horrible.
I know.
Doing whatever we can to support the police and their family in this time of need.
Yeah. Oh, I bit my tongue. She's really nice. So, I must be really hungry. So, yeah, she was really nice, and it's really sad that happened to her. I wish I wish I hope they find the people who took her. It's really sad.
I agree. Kidnapping is a terrible thing in this day and age, which is why I need you around me to make sure that I don't also end up in that situation.
Interesting. Okay. I'm good. I'm writing a note real quick.
Oh, sure.
Johnny will remember that. That's what it says in the screen.
Thought bubble.
No, it's just like, those like Telltale games where it's like, oh, Desmond will remember that, and it's like because of the wording that you said to him. So Johnny goes and he's like, well, okay, well, I don't want to take up any more of your time. I mean, like, it looks like you could go break more Marvel stuff, or I don't yes.
I don't always just horse around and do feats of fun, but Johnny, you're a special case, and I wanted to show you that there's a lot of fun in this protection work that I would be hiring you for. So let me escort you out downstairs.
Okay.
And he's, kind of walks you along, and he says, like I said, give me a call when you're ready. Also, you're welcome back anytime. Just let the receptionist down there know that you are, you can come up to, and come to my gym at any time. And
okay.
Like this. And so he begins to escort you to the,
as we're walking out, I was like, so, I mean, like, you have a sister and you guys work together. And does that get weird at all?
And you see his face kind of darken just for a second. My sister doesn't work here. She lives upstairs, but she doesn't work here.
I mean, wait, do you live here too?
No, I've got a place on Olympus, and I like my privacy. I like being away from the work.
Wait, why does she like living here?
My sister's quite the socialite.
Oh, I mean, like, I guess we are close to bars, so I guess that makes sense. Wait, does she like drinking? Was that too much? I'm sorry.
It's fine. It's fine. Let's go. I do have a meeting tonight, so I do need to be at that meeting. So let me escort you downstairs. Then he escorts you to the elevator, and we're going to cut back to Morgan, Gio, and Cal at the reception desk. Can I help you?
Yeah, you wouldn't have happened to seen a kid about yay big come in here, real scrawny. Sounds like he's stroked on a rubber duck.
Yes, I believe his name was Johnny.
That's the one.
How do you know Johnny? I need to. Is there something that you can tell me about him? I mean, I'm a little curious.
Yeah, we're friends of his parents, and they said that he is out looking for a job around here, and he hadn't been back home. We're supposed to be his ride. They couldn't come to pick him up himself.
Convince her. Because you lied, convince her.
Right, I'm gonna go ahead and throw fake smile. People trust me on that.
Do people trust you though?
Yes, all the time.
You do have that face, but
You have Entourage right now too, right?
That too.
Yep. Entourage does
Johnny
apply.
hates everybody.
11. Great success.
Great success. Yeah. Actually, he's meeting with Mr. Bjorn right now. They're upstairs. I can call up and find out what his status is, and I can make sure that he comes down to get that ride. I know Mr. Bjorn was looking to talk to him about something that they had previously spoke of. So, give me just a minute.
Hold on 1 second. Could ladies' room while you guys are doing all that?
Oh, I'm sorry. Down the corner and to the right.
Thank you.
And she begins to make the call.
Yeah.
And so Gio and Cal are there, and Morrigan is heading off to the ladies' room.
Mm-hmm.
So
while we wait, once she's off the call, I'll just continue talking to her for a minute. Man, this place is fancy. Never been in here myself. Heard Trixie talk about it though.
She's trying to get a hold of him. She's just like, kind of, because. They're not up. They're not answering in the office. Let me call security. And she begins to call security.
Sure.
And Calvin is communing with the plants around the lobby.
What do you mean by communing?
He's just checking them out, making sure they're healthy. Occasionally whispering to them.
Damn, that's a fine ficus.
Oh, that burns out of this world.
every now and again, he gets to one and he kind of looks it over and he just kind of turns the pot about 15 degrees and nods and moves on to the next one. And he's just kind of occasionally just looking at the leaves and checking the plants over.
Nice.
I'm a little weirded out by where this is going on, so I'm waiting for the punchline.
There really isn't one. I mean, I do that when I go to the first time I interviewed at EA, I went over there and I had to wait for like 15 minutes in the lobby, so I just was walking around. I was like, "Oh, this Tracine is looking all right." And so I went through and I was checking the moisture levels in the soil in the pot and everything, and the receptionist was like, "Is the plant all right?" I said, "It's doing okay. It doesn't need to be in this much direct sunlight. I'd put it over there." Because that part of the building would shade it a bit more. It'd probably do better on that corner than this one, but that's just me. And I mean, that's basically what Calvin's doing. He's just
okay. Mm-hmm. Okay. And so she gets off the phone. Yep. Security's going to look for them. She'll get back. They'll get back to us. And she.
Sure. While you're here, you wouldn't have happened to have seen Trixie lately, would you? I'm just curious. You haven't seen her by the bar lately.
I'm sorry. Which bar is that, sir?
The Queen of Hearts.
I know for a fact, sir, that Miss Bjorn does not frequent that. Is there something I can do for you? Are you looking to contact her?
Well, no, not necessarily. I'm just curious. I was visiting over at Xanadu the other day. Mr. Gallows said that he hadn't seen her lately either.
Mr. Bjorn stops by the office or stops by the building occasionally to visit her. Yes, I have not. I don't have any further information than that.
All right, just curious.
Is there anything else I can do for you, sir?
No, I think we're pretty good. So how long you been working here? And he's just gonna be talking to her, making casual conversation for a while, trying to distract from the fact that Morrigan is probably not in the bathroom.
Okay, so you're trying to distract her.
Sure.
Change the game.
Cool.
Because you said it that way, I have to ask for the roll, because...
Yeah, so can I throw up a fake smile?
Of course. Entourage is in there.
Yep, misdirection, entourage.
Mm-hmm.
Alright, so 3 is the max, right?
Just roll with a 4 right now.
Okay. Change the game. Great success. 16. Wait, yeah, 16.
Yeah, that's right. So you get 5 juice there. What do you want to do with the juice? And remember that you can bank them.
So first off, tag for like security being distracted. Essentially, a delay on security, knowing whatever Morrigan is doing.
Story tag for that, because she hasn't. We haven't established what she's doing yet, so I think that's a little. So you can hold on. You can hold on to your juice. Like you can roll. You roll to change the game. You got 5 juice as a success. We can context, or we can shift to what Morrigan's doing, and then you can apply that afterwards if you want to do that. And that way you can kind of cover whatever she's doing if that's what your intent is to do. We can do that, and so that way it's a little bit more fluid and makes sense versus you preemptively doing something and one, not potentially not having an impact, and 2, yeah, we don't really know what's going on there. So
okay, then I guess I'll just hold on to the juice.
All right, so hold on to the 5 juice, and we're gonna cut to Morrigan, following her around the corner.
Okay, so what I'm going to be doing when I get to the ladies' room, first off, just so I can go in there and like pretend like I went to the ladies' room, is there a vent anywhere?
Oh yeah.
Okay. I will be transforming into an itty bitty fly to go up into the vent to the very tippy top.
That's gross. Okay.
I know.
Okay. All right. I'm not going to have you roll anything for it right now. I want to see where this goes.
Yeah. Well,
Okay.
here's the limitation here that I'm going to make very clear. As a fly, I don't have any legitimate like senses as far as like interpretation of data. So I'd have to do some kind of other roll if I wanted to extract something.
Well,
I meant the limitations of the capability of like the animal to an extent, right? Like I can only fly so fast. I can only like do these specific things. That's why I didn't turn into like a crow, because the crow's too big to go into an event.
Right. And okay. All right. That's okay.
Does that
where as a fly?
sense? Yeah.
As a fly, where are you going?
I'm gonna go as high up as I can go, because I imagine that Mr. Bjorn's office is at the top or something like that.
It's going to take a long time if you're a fly.
Damn it.
It's like 100-story building.
What? 100-story building?
This is downtown. Trixie lives in the penthouse.
Okay. How fast does a fly move? Okay.
Hold on.
Hold on. I'm thinking.
Hey, Iris.
What's the smallest bird? What's the smallest bird?
I don't know what sparrow.
Smallest bird. Smallest bird.
Hummingbird.
I was going to say
Iris.
hummingbird would be best, I think, in that situation.
Oh, it's because it also moves.
the
Really fast. Okay,
fastest.
I'm gonna be a hummingbird, not a fly.
Okay.
I didn't realize the building was that tall.
All right.
We have a lot of money. Here's our 3-story business. Then like
Well, 100 stories is a lot, even for a skyscraper.
It's like the Sears Tower in Chicago.
That's fair. Okay, whatever. I am. How long would it take my hummingbird self to?
I don't know, but I imagine it's a hell of a lot faster than a fly.
Yes. Okay. Okay,
right.
I'm going through the fence.
how fast is a hummingbird? 49 miles per hour.
Oh, it's almost as fast as my crow. Sorry.
Really?
A crow can dive bomb at 60 miles an hour.
I know, but I'm thinking about the fact that the relative size difference, and they travel at basically the same speed. That's just crazy. It's just a visual difference. It's weird.
Think it's because they move their wings so fast.
Right.
And with a crow dive bombing, I mean, that's gravity assist, really.
That's true.
Well, have you ever seen a hummingbird dive bomb you as you're walking near their food source?
Or if you're the one carrying the hummingbird feeder and they're being impatient because they're shit. Yes.
Oh yeah.
Hummingbird got something in its eye. Oh my god.
It's
Yeah,
probably
his beaks are meant for stabbing.
So
just as
one-eyed
much as they are
hummingbird
for
now.
Honey.
I got nectar in my eye. Excuse me.
You want to go take care of that real quick, and we'll cut. We'll cut
Yeah.
away for a second.
Yeah,
All right.
yeah.
All right. So she's transformed into a hummingbird and gone off. Gio is smooth talking this receptionist at this point, with 5G just kind of hanging out there. Cal, what's going on with you?
communing with the plants.
Hmm?
He's communing with the plants.
You're continuing to commune with the plants.
Well, I mean, he's made the rounds, and then he's kind of strolled over once he's finished with that, and kind of just come over and is sort of leaning on the desk, you know, watching the interplay between Gio and the receptionist, and is like making mental notes of, "Ooh, no, I wouldn't have said that." Ooh, no. And then occasionally, when she's really focused on him, looking her up and down, being like,
Yeah. The things Gio is saying are very different from what you would say, in that he's in no way trying to seduce her. He recognizes that he's like suave or whatever, but is quick to like turn anything off like that.
Calvin would probably have her in the broom closet by now, but whatever. You know.
Now that's a distraction.
That is a distraction. All right, so we're going to cut back to the elevator ride down as Johnny hears a buzzing sound kind of whiz by the elevator. As you are heading down, Harold looks over and says, "So where do you go to school, Johnny? What are you studying?"
I mean, it's just general high school stuff. Nothing too crazy. Hold on, I'm making up a name right now.
Exodus Academy.
Exodus? Why Exodus?
I don't know. I thought
Get
Exeter.
the fuck out.
We're cranking them out. Hold on. I'm figuring. Let's go. Roman mythology.
Why Roman mythology? Why not Celtic mythology? Why not Greek mythology? Why
Because
not
that was the
Egyptian
one I wanted to
mythology?
click. Okay.
Greek
American
mythology
mythology.
was pretty much first, and the Romans kind of copied them. So
I'm looking right now.
Babylonian mythology was actually before the Greek mythology, but let's just.
I mean, I go to Mirror High.
oh my god.
He says, "Oh, that's interesting. Are you going to go to the university when you graduate from high school?"
Maybe. I haven't thought about it. I'm only in my junior year, so I mean, I have a little bit of time to figure it out. You know, a lot of people are like, "I'm gonna go abroad," and I'm like, "I don't really want to go abroad. I just kind of want to stay in the city." I don't know what I'm gonna do yet.
I recommend staying in the city. Good things are going to be happening in this city very soon.
Well, like what?
Just good things. Lots of programs are going to be enacted in the city, and people with your talents are going to benefit from the things that my company is directly involved in helping, the city do.
Can I roll a convince?
For what?
That's gonna be my.
To have be like to get more information from him, because he's being very vague, and so I kind of want to use my student tag, and I think that's the only one I got. Use my student tag to be like very questionable and like kind of curious about knowledge and curious about what he's being vague about. So that kind of like childlike curiosity. So I got a +1. Is Face and Nemesis still active?
No, because he thinks that he's fond of you. Let's put it that way.
Okay.
Give me just 1 second, though. I do want to look one thing up.
Okay.
Because I want to see if he is actually going to have any type of defense against this. Give me just 1
Iris,
second.
is he actually going to have any type of defense against this? responding.
I'm sorry, that was actually quite good.
I also can I use Father's Arcade because talking business.
Talking in business. How does that apply? Because your father's business really has. I mean, it's a small retail shop.
It's not so much. It's not so much of talking about my father's arcade. It's about talking business because like you have to like get the supplies, get the demands, future projects. Like what scope do you have out for them? What details and like plans and goals you have along the way? Kind of that mindset.
And specifically because Mr. Bjorn wants Johnny to work directly for him in whatever is coming up.
And I also would like to create a story tag with the one juice that I've been hanging on to for like 2 episodes. I want to create...
Naughty.
Or nice.
Okay. Anyways, go ahead.
I want to create the story tag that like future prospect for Johnny. So he sees future prospects for Johnny in his abilities and all that, and is more keen on him.
Okay, so that's only going to apply in this situation, though, right? In this conversation.
Yes.
Okay. All right.
Because I'm going to use it, and it's going to be gone after I use it.
Right. So future prospects is a story tag.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to apply student and Father's Arcade. Was there anything else that you wanted to apply?
No, that's 3. I keep myself at 3.
All right. So go ahead and are you okay? So let me ask you this question: is this really a convince or is this an investigate?
I think I want to say like investigation is more like I'm trying to find out clues about a mystery, right? There is like a mystery involved, but I'm trying to convince him to tell me more about what he's already being vague about.
All right. That's fair then.
Okay. 10.
Jeez. I was looking at a previous success. Okay. All right. Tell me what you would say. What does Johnny say to convince him that he should share more information?
So he's like, so I mean, like, what a person like me, what kind of a like what kind of like why my abilities? Like, what's going to be happening?
And he looks down at you and he kind of thumps your shoulder and your chest and you feel it. You feel his thump. It actually feels significant. It feels like a hit, like somebody tapping you really hard on your chest.
Mm-hmm.
But again, because of who you are, right? You don't feel things in the same way that most people do. And he's like,
yeah,
individuals with your quality, with your talents and your abilities, other talents, other abilities, they'll do really well. At least that's my vision. And he does this flourish of my vision.
Well, what's more? Can I have more details about your vision? Where do I fit in?
I'm always looking for individuals from my inner circle. That's why I want you to come work physical security for me, Johnny. I want you to understand what you're capable of, what we're capable of, and what we're going to do for this city.
Are you going to be taking over other businesses?
That's always on the table, Johnny. That's always. I mean, I would love to go into the details of that, but yes, we do have one deal. In fact, that's where my next meeting is. I'm supposed to be across the district to have that meeting very soon. And then I'm thinking about going and actually visiting my father after that. It's been a while since I've seen him.
So what do I know about the Walker Foundation off the top of my head? What would Johnny know?
I think what everybody knows, and I believe we talked about this before, but as a refresher, the Walker Foundation serves as an organization that, as a nonprofit that benefits the homeless, the disabled,
the
needy,
So yeah,
and anybody who has any mental disabilities.
Okay.
That they can't get support otherwise.
Well, I was like, wait. So he like kind of leans in a little bit, and he's like, "Well, I mean, like, who's running the Pandora company right now? The people who make the Saga."
Interesting question, Johnny. I actually don't know. I imagine that they've got a contingency plan for this situation to prevent a hostile takeover or other types of nefarious business activities to go on while, I mean, it's very common practice. I mean, you are familiar with the fact that the Walker Foundation is actually, serving without, a board of directors right now. They have, contingency plans in place and mechanisms. Johnny, are you sure you shouldn't go to the university and study business? It seems like you've got quite a head for business. Maybe get your head out of the arcade machines.
Well, I mean, like, I grew up at the arcade shop, so I mean, like, I pretty much just know, like, hearing my dad talk to everyone. He like, and like kind of getting the hang of the business. Like, you can pretty much just like escalate it to, any size of business once you have like the understand the ethics and business plans and such as like scoping out like anything for future prospects and such.
That's for small businesses, Johnny.
This is the longest elevator ride.
I know.
Well, and so he thumps you and he says, maybe he thumps you again on the chest and says, maybe you should expand your horizons. Ding, the door begins to open. And we're going to cut to Morrigan in hummingbird form, flying up past the elevator as you go up the elevator shaft. Where are you going, Morrigan?
I'm going to go to the very top floor.
Okay.
Like all the way to the top.
You arrive at the top floor and the door is closed on you.
What do you mean the door? I'm in a vent.
It is closed.
It is closed.
The vent's closed?
Well, the vent has a grate on it.
Well, yeah. I mean, how small are the slots in the grate?
Pretty small.
Okay, I'm flying again.
That's what I was waiting for.
And you find yourself inside of the apartment as a fly, or the upstairs penthouse as a fly.
Okay. What do I see?
You see quite a lavish penthouse that looks. It's actually multi-story. It's got a loft section that that is in the second story. The first story is kind of this big open space, couches, lovely kitchen. There's a balcony, off to the far side from you. It's empty and dark.
Empty and dark? Like,
and dark.
Does it look like it hasn't been lived in a while? Dark?
It looks like it looks like nobody is there and that none of the lights are on.
Suspicious.
I wonder what's going on. Maybe we should investigate.
Yes. I will transform out of fly form into the form of the secretary downstairs.
As you transform and you find yourself standing there, lights pop on.
Okay.
And the entire place is lit up. And as you're kind of looking around, just kind of taking in the scene, you realize that there is a slight layer of dust on something.
On something?
On some things.
Some things, okay. Okay. Is there a computer or cell phone or any documents anywhere?
There's a bunch of magazines on one of the tables near one of the couches. You don't see a computer around here. You do see an entertainment system, a TV, all types of games and things, right? But nothing on this first floor, on this first sort of story, this open sort of story.
Okay, I'll go up to the loft, I guess.
Walking up to the loft, it's also dark, and when you walk up there, the lights don't actually come on, and there's a switch sort of off to the side.
Okay, I will leave it dark.
Okay, and as you enter, you see what looks to be another television connected to another part of the entertainment system, speakers, and a nice bed, a lavish bathroom, quite a large shower and tub, but no computer, no cell phone, no electronics of any kind other than the entertainment system and the lights.
There's no personal effects, not even like clothing or anything like that.
Are you investigating?
Yes, I will investigate.
I think that's a good idea.
I'm going to investigate the shit out of this clothing.
I'm gonna talk my way out of this.
Nope. It's just a straight roll. Did it roll?
Did.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I missed looking through drawers. This is great.
There's some really nice clothes in this closet. You were probably distracted by some of them going, man, this would look fantastic.
Yeah. We saw some unmentionables and got really distracted.
You find some really nice clothes, actually. You find things that are in the shades of emerald green, like a ruby red, and some very interesting primary colors in dinner outfits, evening dresses. It's clear that a woman lives here, right? And you find, on her bureau, incredibly, expensive different types of makeup. But nothing else. You really don't find anything that's out of the ordinary, and there is still a slight layer of dust. It doesn't look like it's more than a couple of days, but it's weird that it's dusty. It's about the only thing that really kind of stands out for you.
Is there a color to the dust, or does it look like just boring old dust?
It looks like boring old dust.
Damn.
Okay.
All right, what's in the bathroom?
I told you, it's a beautiful lavish bathroom. Tub.
Are there drawers in the bathroom?
Sure. You find the normal toiletries in a bathroom.
This is useless. Useless. Okay. I'm gonna go back downstairs for a moment.
Okay, you go back down.
I'm gonna look through all the magazines. I'm just gonna lift them, look at them and see which ones are when's the earliest dated magazine, the most recent one.
The most recent one is a magazine or a magazine. So, quick question for Trend. Siobhan's competitive magazine. What was it? You said there was she had a competing magazine. What was the name of it?
No, she didn't.
I thought you said she did.
Nope.
Okay. All right. My mistake.
She just decided to take what he had because he had it.
Right. But I thought there was a competing business going on. I made a mistake. Okay. So you find a couple of magazines. The latest one is definitely from last month. It is talking about the nightlife in the city and restaurant stuff. You find that there's an article actually in there by Cal that he submitted about a location in the old quarter. Sort of a thematic, sort of fancy kind of a place, but very very home. Very intimate.
Cajun food is really good.
And so, it's obvious that it's obvious that people have been here recently. It's just not the last couple of days.
I have ideas, but I don't know what I want to do.
Commit your ideas. Come on. Take chances here. Roll the dice.
No, I'm trying to see which one I think will leave me in less trouble, since I already have a lot of trouble that I need to be dealing myself out of soon.
Throw it to the table.
Throw it to the table. I agree.
Okay, so I want to find a way to leave a message for Trisha and or Megan, but I don't want them to know it was for me. And I'm trying to figure out who the good Patsy will be in this case.
Johnny.
Geo.
No, I think John is a good choice, actually. Yeah.
I don't think it would be any of the party members. I'm trying to think about other contacts, and I'm almost willing to take a risk with Kevin's name, but I'm not at the same time.
So you're leaving a pat.
I don't know who's going to come back in here. I want whoever does to know that someone else has been in here.
Of all the people that you have seen thus far,
yeah,
the receptionist makes the most sense. She has reason to be in the building at any given point.
But then how do I track when they make contact with the secretary? That's where my brain is. It's like, okay, I can leave a thing, but how am I going to know the response?
You could say that it was a note from Derek.
That's what I was thinking too, but I don't want to put Derek in a dangerous situation. So,
I mean, he's a cop. He should be used to it.
no, that's not.
I don't have any other better suggestions that I can think of.
I don't think, because I don't have actual investigative skills, guys. So, like, I'm literally just rolling straight.
I probably could have given you juice on that, but it wouldn't have helped at all.
I could technically use probably juice because I have 3 left over from last time, but I'm not going to. So,
I mean,
ooh. No.
What was the ooh?
Well, I can transform into things, so I'm trying to think of something that could help me here.
Oh.
Is there any biometric scanners in the room?
No, those are all in her office.
I'm not.
Does Trisha have an office?
No. I mean, they're all in.
You know what Trisha looks like?
No, you didn't see a picture of her. And
okay.
You said she's a socialite. Surely she's.
There are pictures.
I've seen pictures of her and Megan together
Mm-hmm.
from the socialite like magazines and all that stuff, like what we talked about earlier. So, okay.
I got an idea. Here, let me throw down an idea to the table.
Okay.
Why don't you cut up some of the magazines, put the letters, in place, and make this really crazy kind of message and see what happens.
I can set a meeting place and a date and a time. That's what I'm going to do.
I like
also,
serial killer style, okay.
So you can look like someone, right? So you can look like her because you've seen her, correct?
Who? Oh, I can look
Trish.
at either of them. I just don't know how accurate it'll be because I haven't seen them in person.
Well, yeah. So I mean, like, that's granted, but you can go up to the secretary, right, as Trish, and be like, I need my schedule, blah 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 blah. Because I don't know how she sounds.
One, if I do that and I run into Bjorn, I'm fucked. And 2, not worth the risk. So no, because I know both him and Mr. Gallows are like, do not. Yes.
If there are security cameras in this room and everywhere else, all they will have picked up is the receptionist. And
yes.
even if she does turn into either Patricia or Megan, it will be vague enough that resolution on the cameras probably won't be able to tell that it's not actually them. But if you were to meet someone face to face who knows what Patricia looks like, absolutely.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. Scrutiny there. Okay, so I'm just gonna go ahead and I'm gonna leave a note with I think I'm going to I don't know how they write. Maybe the cutout letters is nope, that's not gonna be nope. Okay. Just gonna leave a note.
It rubs the lotion on its skin in the park at 11 p.m. It rhymes.
Okay, no. So I'm thinking, what place would be a good place to meet? It has to be a place that we haven't been before, though, because everybody's watching those locations. I don't want some randos coming around.
The funeral home.
We have been there. I have been there, technically. Okay, how about, is there like other parks, or is there just the one main park, Johnny?
The main park is essentially in the blue collar district. There is like a central park. That's the place that Cal was talking about. There are little parks around the city. I mean, I could make a suggestion if you're looking for a place. You actually already have a location.
Yeah.
Based on the article that Cal wrote for that Cajun place in the old quarter. Nobody's been there, but it's obvious that it's.
Well, I was about to say, can we go to the old quarter? But
sure.
Okay. So I'll actually open up to that page in the article, and I'll like with the little post-it note, I'll put it next to there. Meet me, whatever day it is today at like the next day at whatever time, like 9 p.m. or something. Wait, when do they close, Cal?
When do they?
What are the hours? What are the hours of this establishment?
They're closed on Tuesdays, but they're open throughout the weekend. On the weekends, they're open much later. They're open.
So, by the way, we've established that this is a Thursday.
Oh, Thursday. Okay, so I'm asking them to meet me Friday.
Which apparently is the weekend, so it's open later.
Okay.
Right. And
Do we want to like give her a little bit more time just in case she doesn't come back like tomorrow or today? Because she hasn't been here for a couple days.
Well, the problem is I don't know if they're gonna even come back.
It's true.
I need to find some way to make it obvious that somebody has been inside of here so that somebody finds the note. So I'm probably gonna like leave something like slips halfway under the door. The front door thing. The front whatever.
See, I'm tempted to say that you could leave something out and then the cleaning, service would find it. But if there's a layer of dust for several days on things, they clearly haven't been by either.
Right.
And there is no way that Phoebe's going to clean her own place. I mean, Patricia's going to clean her own place.
Yeah. Okay, so here's the plan. Friday night, 9 p.m. at the Cajun place in the old quarter. Magazine's left open with the note inside, and I put like the pencil so that it doesn't close. Or if it does close, it's obvious there's something there.
And the name of the place is Okay by You.
Oh my God! Yes! Yes! Okay, I need to write this down. Article by Cal about Okay by You.
You look, McLoken, you look so destroyed because you were envious that he came up with that.
No.
No, he hates puns.
I hate puns because I live with she gets excited all the time about puns.
And dad jokes.
I was going to say dad jokes.
She literally has a bot that tells her dad jokes, and so we'll be laying in bed, and she's like, "I have another dad joke," and I'm like,
"Give me that shit. You two don't live together. We've established."
Okay.
All fake.
I'm making my way out of this crazy place because danger. I sense danger somehow, and I'm leaving.
Okay, roll me a perception check to see if you can find your way through the maze.
I have a perfect memory.
Okay, so we're going to cut back to door opening. Gio, you're talking to the receptionist. Cal, you're kind of just listening to this, and you hear ding as Johnny walks out with Harold Bjorn. So, Johnny, you really should think about expanding your. And he kind of pauses and looks over at Gio and Cal.
Johnny, you're here. Finally. God. Your parents asked us to pick you up.
You're my ride?
Mm-hmm.
I guess.
Is everything okay, what? Johnny?
No, it's just I didn't expect anyone to be here yet. So, what time is it?
Probably like 7 o'clock.
Yeah. I don't know. I think we could still catch R&R Diner for the lunch special.
Lunch special.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, Johnny, it was a pleasure.
I go and shake his hand.
Your friends look like they have you. I've got to head downstairs.
You have things to go do. Yeah, I'll see you later, and shake his hand.
And he says, pleasure, and he begins to kind of walk away towards the elevator.
Good to see you, Mr. Bjorn.
Oh, we gotta go. Bye.
I was going to say the same thing, but he beat me to it. Anyway.
And he just continues to wait for the elevator to go downstairs.
I walk them outside.
We'll just be one more minute waiting for a friend to come back.
Yeah, she's been in there a long time, the receptionist says.
Yeah, she's
it's a lady problem.
Yeah.
Well, maybe I should go check on her anyways, and she begins to get up and move that direction.
No, you really don't want to do that.
This is the time where Gio starts using his juice.
Yes.
Yeah, I'll do that.
So, what do you want to do with your juice, Gio? Change the game.
Hit it with all I've got. No, I'm gonna convince.
No. You've got a success there.
Oh.
Use it as a change the game to apply in this particular situation.
You can play a status effect, right?
Status effect, story tag.
Yeah.
Et cetera, et cetera.
Like distracted or something.
Yeah.
Knock over a plant. Cal will lose his mind.
Damn right.
That's not a bad idea.
It was just a joke.
No, as she's like starting to walk away, I'll just be like, no, it's all right. And then as I like kind of step forward, my elbow will hit like the small plant that's on the desk, and just it'll fall to the perfectly clean floor, and there will be dirt everywhere. And I'll be like, oh God, I'm so sorry.
And as that kind of crashes, you look up and you see that Harold is standing there, kind of looking at you.
Sorry, Mr. Bjorn. I'll take care of it. Don't worry about it.
Is there a problem?
No, I just clumsy. That's all it is.
He points to one of his guys and he says, "Why don't you go figure out where she is?" And one of his security guards that has been waiting by the door, that's been there since Johnny went up, begins to move towards the restaurant.
Do my fast hummingbird wings bring me to the bathroom yet?
Gravity assist.
Gravity assist, but it's still 100 stories.
Just turn into a rock. Just
No,
fall.
I don't know if I haven't explored inanimate objects in my line of work yet, okay?
I would think that would be a common practice for a psychiatrist. No, forget it.
Would
What?
Well, a dead weight, I would think.
well, they actually don't have a tremendous amount of mass, so their terminal velocities. Never mind.
I will be a whale. Just kidding.
Jesus.
Is
Just
there
a densest
All
animal.
plummeting through the elevator shaft.
A turtle is like a rock. Johnny Speed in chat knows what's up.
Okay.
Okay. So you arrive down moments before and transform back.
Because Calvin looks at the bodyguard. It's like, by the way, when you go in, just warning.
And he walks by you, kind of shaking his head as Harold looks at you. And Morrigan, as you transform, you hear, "Hello?"
She immediately flushes the toilet for fake effect and starts washing her hands.
"Hello?"
Hello? You don't sound like a lady. This is the women's room.
I was asked by Mr. Bjorn to check to make sure everything was okay.
Oh, I didn't know Mr. Bjorn was here, but thank you. Let him know I appreciate the concern for bathroom attendance.
You had been gone a long time, miss. We just wanted to make sure everything was okay.
Yeah, do you have a wife? Sister?
Does he
Any
actually lean away from the
Oh.
Yeah, you know that time during the month where, cramps happen and PMS. I'm kind of like going through a little bit of that right now, and I'm, pain. It's a lot of pain.
That was more information than I needed to know, ma'am. We'll see you outside in just a few minutes.
I will dive bomb you and rip out your throat.
As a
See you
fly,
after
it'll
work.
take a long time.
I'll take as much time as I need. Okay. Well, a few minutes. She's gonna give it a few minutes, and then she's gonna walk out.
Turn into a skunk for a minute and
Oh yeah. As the bodyguard comes back,
Well, then everyone would just think she's smoking weed in the bathroom.
Ew.
she has access to very good weed. Thank you.
Therapy,
Medical grade.
for therapy.
Absolutely, yeah. And she does edibles, anyway. So when the bodyguard is coming back, judging by the expression on his face, Calvin's like, "I told you."
He looks over at you, shakes his head, and walks back over to Harold, whispers in his ear for just a minute, shakes his head. "All right, let's go." And they turn and press the button, and the elevator arrives, and they enter.
And then Morgan comes out of the hallway.
Mm-hmm.
Which Johnny's confused by this because he said he had to go across town and he's going back up the elevator.
No, he said he was going downstairs to get a car.
Oh, okay. I didn't know there was a huge garage down here.
Well, that's the implication, isn't it? What else could it be? Could it be a chariot with 2 goats pulling it?
Definitely.
Yes, certainly.
Okay. Well,
Is the
oh,
goat
hey,
named
Johnny.
Tips?
How's it going?
Good. All right, let's go.
Okay.
Nervously walks out the door.
Okay. Well, I have my car, so let's.
Yeah, let's go.
Thank God,
Well,
one of
All
those
right.
things.
Ha ha ha.
So
And so as you're walking to, I'm sorry, go ahead.
Calvin leans over to the receptionist and looks at the little bonsai tree that you go knocked over. It's like, if nothing else, at least it was time to replot it anyway. So
She shakes her head at you.
it was. Look,
She kind of moves you along as she's still sweeping things up. And as you're stepping outside, where are you going?
Mom,
we're just getting into
what
the
are you guys
car.
doing here?
Well, we're getting into the car because we don't have a conversation in front of this freaking building.
Okay, so as you're about to get into the car, as Calvin's about to get into the car, his phone rings.
oh God. Okay, so Calvin's phone rings then.
It's a number that you do not recognize.
Hang on. Sorry, that's my phone. Hang on. So just be a minute. Yeah, come again, because. Oh God. Yeah, that's a yes. I know who you are, Malcolm. What do you want? Yeah, I was there. What do you want?
He knows Mr. Xanadu?
No. No. Let me double check. Yes, I'm sure. I don't know who she's working for. Yeah, I did a review for them a couple of years back. Sort of, yeah. Wait. Who's Manny? The Skulls, like the gang? You're hanging out with them, are you? So you are hanging out with them and you're beating them up. So they know where you live? I doubt that. What do you want, Malcolm? Oh my God. Oh, okay, let's take a catch up here. Yes, then no, then yes, or no, then yes, then no. I'm gonna go with no. I don't know where they are.
God, this kid can talk. Yeah, that seems about right.
What?
What is he up to?
I know where the people looking for them.
I think it has to do with the skulls.
Well, I mean, Manny?
Manny, anyone? I don't know.
Look, nobody really, as far as I know, nobody knows who killed Mr. Walker. So this is still an open case.
What?
Police, and they're still trying to figure out who did it. Really, when someone kills somebody, the police want to know who it is so they can bring them to justice. I'm looking for Mr. Walker. Why the fuck are you calling me about this?
What?
Oh my
Definitely.
God, are you dealing with her?
Oh, his girlfriend?
Wait, who's his girlfriend?
Have you kissed her yet? It's really fun. You should try it.
What?
Oh, not Cal's girlfriend. Looks like Mount. Maybe that fast one. There was a girl who she talked really fast, moved
There are
really fast, drove like a maniac.
yeah, there are.
Whatever it is, this is.
Bear in mind, I don't know where you are. You tell me this area of town. I don't know where that is. Yeah. Congratulations. I'm debating. Okay. Yeah.
Oh God, you okay?
Yeah, that was Malcolm.
I can tell.
That's Mr. Xanadu.
The one and only.
Yeah.
What did he want?
Yeah. What? He's talking about the skulls now.
Yeah, apparently they are also in on this whole thing.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean that much was clear. What do you mean by this whole thing?
With the missing sisters.
Yeah.
Right, we kind of knew that.
Yeah, but that means that there's multiple. So this affirms the multiple gangs being involved, but they're obviously not working together. Right.
Not directly, but it's
Not directly.
like they're being directed.
Well, we got to get up to the penthouse.
Yeah, there's nothing up there.
Wait, what?
There hasn't been anybody up there for a few days at least.
Wait, how'd you get up there?
I really don't like lying, Johnny, so I'm just going to tell you I flew up there, and it's a whole thing that we can talk about after we deal with this other issue.
Are you like Supergirl?
Sure, let's go with that. Definitely.
Okay, so you can fly like Supergirl.
Yeah.
Not quite.
I mean, flying in general, you know, superhero powers, so we'll just leave it at that.
Diving off
Okay,
a building.
so the skulls, and we have, okay, so Phoebe's missing. We know that Megan got in the car voluntarily, and it was Trisha's car, and Trisha apparently lives here because all her stuff and like magazines and all this other women's stuff is there. I don't know if Megan was there with her or not. I decided to leave a unsigned note for Megan / Trisha to meet somebody at the Cajun place that you actually reviewed, Cal. OK Bayou in the Old Quarter.
Yeah, it's a great place. That's a bit creepy. I would not be a bit surprised if she wouldn't go.
But, you know, worth a shot.
Maybe
they'll send somebody. Maybe they'll send somebody instead, and that at least gives us some kind of a path forward. Maybe not.
All right,
There's nothing there.
we need to backtrack a little bit. Why the fuck are you guys here?
Because I was telling you that I knew who the owner of the vehicle was, which happened to also be the same person that you found out, and you went here by yourself. Exactly why I hadn't told you the name of the person, and you went anyway.
Well, you guys are acting like I was going to go fight a bunch of people. I found out some good information.
Okay, why don't we listen to what you have?
Well, if you don't notice this, Mr. Bjorn gave this to me at the party and told me to come visit him. At what I found out was Acer Industries, that he has a stepsister named Trisha, who also has that license plate, whatever, Trixie one. One Trixie one, whatever. Because I was over at Xanadu because I broke their VCR, so I fixed it. And they told me a bunch of things. Well, I was gonna go there and see her, but Mr. Gallows told me I shouldn't like interact with with her and then get seen by Harold. So Harold showed up and I was like, oh, just the man I wanted to see. And it was like really cool. And it was the coolest thing I've ever done. So, and then he talked to me. He kept saying some weird stuff that like people with our abilities are going to like prosper and like there's things going to be happening in the future. He really was being really vague about it. I even tried to get it out of him. But he doesn't seem to like his dad or his sister. And pretty much he said she was up in the penthouse, but apparently she's not in the penthouse. But yeah, for the most part, I don't know. It just seems like something weird is going on, but he's going to a meeting to take over a business or something.
Did he say where by chance?
No, he's kind of locking up about it, but he's getting in a car right now.
Okay, here's the problem. If he isn't even checking in on his sister, then he doesn't know she's not up in the penthouse, or he's just lying.
Or he knows exactly where she is and isn't worried about it.
Yeah. And she knows that Megan's with her.
Oh, and he wants to hire me as a personal bodyguard. He said there's all the hamburgers I can eat.
It's a good deal.
Don't encourage him.
Wait a minute. He's just going to pay you with food and no money?
Well, no, he said there would be a lot of money involved, but it's all the food I can eat too.
All right, fine.
Yeah,
Okay.
even without the money, have you seen how much he can eat? Regardless, I mean, I suppose that's a good connection. I mean...
But I got out of the elevator, and you guys were there, and then you guys started doing a bunch of weird nervous shit. I'm the nervous one. Not you guys.
We were concerned for your safety, that's all.
You don't need to worry about me. I'm not going to start anything that I don't need to be not starting.
Okay. Let's just, all that aside.
I'm thirsty.
We don't know which business he's going to see. Yes? So...
No.
What
it probably doesn't matter because he says he's taking over businesses all the time. So
that, yes, Acer Industries takes over. They do acquisitions all the time. It's part of their business strategy.
Also,
this
don't fuck with the security guards.
Right.
Yeah, you mentioned something about people like us being able to prosper or something?
Something like that. Johnny, what was the exact wording? I can't remember it because I didn't write it down fast enough.
The exact wording, I don't remember, but it did leave you with the impression that people with abilities would be benefiting.
Yeah, something pretty much that like anyone with an ability would be benefiting in the near future. I don't know why.
Okay. Cal, you seem like you were having something to say about the acquisitions.
Well, he also wants me to go to Tenjin University.
Okay, Johnny, can you give us a second? Take a deep breath.
I'm not the one who almost fucked this up.
What's your language?
Okay, if we want to continue this, we all have to take a minute. Cal had something he wanted to share with us.
Cal has some things he's working through.
Okay. Well, then.
We do need to know which company they're taking over. Because if it's Pandora's.
It's not Pandora.
You know
How do you
this
know
for a fact.
Well, I kind of could be like slyly asked about you know, oh, no one's in control of Pandora right now. After he said he was going to go take over a business, and he's like, oh no, they got a bunch of people watching over the business right now since the Desiree sisters are you know, MIA currently.
And you don't think that he is that person? That's a 100% like possibility now.
No, I think it's too soon to even make that assumption because they've only been missing what, last night? They sell the business that quick. I mean, that means there would have been an inner scheme to even capture them. But
They're not captured. They went willingly. What do you think is happening?
Oh my God! Let me finish. All right.
We only know that one of them went willingly.
I think it's safe to say that they all did. Why would one go and the others not? I mean,
because only one was in on it.
To what benefit?
Don't know. Don't know what Trixie would be up to.
As I was saying, it's too soon for the business to go be sold, even though they just been missing for under 24 hours. I mean, like, they still have another, what?
Hasn't it been 2 days since they've been missing?
So this is the second day.
Yeah, it's been 48 hours almost.
This goes further back than that.
Okay, so timeline, right? Walker's dead. Phoebe's up for the chairman position. Harold doesn't want her to be in that position. Like, they actually had a meeting about it, as confirmed by Phoebe's secretary. Okay, so obviously something happens there. Phoebe's goes missing the same night that they have an argument about it, or the day that they had the argument during the meeting. And then the other sisters are missing, right? And we have a trail from the skulls and the beasts, as they call themselves. And Manny and Samuel are somehow involved per the police interrogation that I was privy to. And now Harold comes back around again, coincidentally, which there are no coincidences. There's obviously something to do with him acquiring whatever company he's acquiring.
Well, he's going to see his dad tonight.
That's Xanadu.
Yeah.
Malcolm also mentioned another cat lady. One that isn't Julia.
Oh. Beast, then?
I'm going to have to start a board for this, I swear.
A beast?
You want a board for this? I can give you a board for this.
Only if it's real cork.
No, actually, it's not. It was a piece of crap that was already installed in the office when I bought it. I was going to change everything around, but no, Shoban said she liked it, and I...
Okay, you have a lot of relationships that we don't need to know about, I think.
So you think?
Maybe we could talk about it when Johnny's not here.
He's got to learn sometime.
You know, you guys, I'm 17.
Yeah, actually, you are. In a lot of places, that is of legal age.
Not here, though.
Nope.
Not here.
And that's interesting. That is very interesting how there's this duplicity about what someone can legally do and what someone can't legally do, and when they get to change their minds as to what is within the bounds of legality and what is not. Sorry.
What?
Okay. So
I'm not about to get into a philosophical discussion with you on whether or not it's okay for you to be coming on to Johnny right now. Needless to say, the answer is no.
what are we going to do right now? We have no clear path forward right now. We haven't gotten anything, like, what are we doing?
Well, we can't follow Mr. Harold or Mr. Bjorn because, you know, he's made all of us. So that's out.
Not necessarily.
Wait, can you fly? You can fly. Just go. But Morrigan can. She can, like Supergirl. No one ever looks up, so she can just fly above the car.
I'd have to find where they are first.
Well, they're in the underground garage. They're probably going to be coming up very soon.
Johnny, how much time has gone by between when we got into the car? What is the likelihood of us catching where where Bjorn's car is at this point?
Well, the question is, the first question that I have to answer that is this conversation happening still parked?
Yeah.
You know, near the Acer building? You would have seen him. You would have seen him come out of the private garage and come out onto the street in a limousine. You would have seen a limousine come out, and then you could make the assumption that it was his.
Okay. So I would have seen which direction it went in.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Well, I don't want to tail him in my car. So, Geo.
That's right. You brought your car, didn't you?
Yeah. Geo, you're going to take my car and you're going to park it somewhere. And I'm going to text you the location that I stop at in about 10 or 15 minutes.
And then you want us to show up there and try not to be too obvious in
Without
case he
my
walks
car.
out?
Preferably without my car, please. Because then I'll have to get rid of my car. And I really don't want to have to do that.
I mean, I'd be more concerned about us being seen in the car.
I mean, he does seem to notice me like quickly out of the crowd.
Oh, shit. Okay, I'm going to do something risky.
That's where the fun happens.
I've never done this before, so I don't know if it's a bad idea or not. Johnny.
What?
No,
I'm
wrong
listening.
Johnny.
I'm
Okay.
listening, but I do have a question for you based on what you said, but I want to hear what you're going to do that's risky first.
I want to grant the crow ability to everybody in the party.
And Morgan has a car. None of the rest of us do. So let's be clear with that.
Do you know how to drive, Cal?
I do.
Okay. Geo does too. He's very inexperienced, but he does.
Are we calling that a change the game?
Yeah. Yes, it is change the game, but it's kind of almost take a risk.
Well, so what's risky about it?
That none of them have ever been transformed into anything like this.
Okay.
So like them physically being able to handle it, I don't know how to apply that.
That you know of.
Well, sure. To my assumption, Morrigan,
right.
her assumption is that none of them have ever been transformed into an animal, let alone one that can fly.
So when you okay, let's have a little bit of conversation about this ability, not in the sense of theme book and power tag, but the narrative description about this.
Mm-hmm.
Have you ever extended this ability before to somebody?
Mm-mm.
Never.
Mm-mm.
This is an
I've granted other powers in it, but like I did with Derek, the other episode of like, but not physical transformation.
Okay. So with that in mind, I have a question for you.
Mm-hmm.
Does stop holding back apply here?
Let me read it over again. It might not. Let's see.
Because this is you using your abilities in a new way. So for everybody who's watching, that as we're all reading this ability, stop holding back is when you exhibit a new power or ability, you can basically throw everything, metaphorically speaking, at it. And there are some wonderful benefits, but there is also some consequences, some major consequences.
Major consequence. I'm gonna go for it. I think it's on a scale that she's never done before.
So just a real narrative description for everybody, because this is the first time we're actually doing this, even though, Meta, you mentioned it, I think in the second episode for Johnny's character at one point. This is when you use your powers in a new and never before seen way or scale. Tell the MC what you want to hope to achieve. The MC will tell you to sacrifice what you will sacrifice, will take from you. Then roll you roll plus logos. On a hit, you achieve exactly what you want to achieve and pay the price.
So what is roll plus logos exactly? What does that mean?
That's what I'm trying to figure out right now, because there are because
this isn't a normal roll.
Right. So the scale, I think, is what's important. I think it's what scale do you want to achieve with this, right? I think because there's three listings, right? There's significant, there's no return, and then there's ultimate.
This is not my final form.
I mean,
how it's significant because of the fact that it's 3 people that I'm transforming.
Absolutely.
Number of logos themes is what he's saying.
I'm sorry, say it again.
Wisdom says it's the number of logos themes that you want to.
I only have 1 logos theme.
So
then that's 1, right?
Oh, I see what it is.
So it's significant then.
So it's a roll plus logos.
Yes.
Okay, that makes I get it. I get it. So I do my standard roll of whatever I want to roll.
Right.
My power tags, and then plus the logos, and then whatever that is what.
Yeah, Sam's looking. Right, Sam's looking it up in the book just to make sure to give us the page number specifically for talking about that. Okay, roll 291. Yeah, because this is one of the things where I don't want to, because this could potentially have long-lasting effects for Morrigan. So I want to make sure that we are doubly sure that this is what we want to do here.
Become an avatar right now.
Okay, so geeking out the credits. That's not it. There's a comic book that I'm not going to get caught up in. Flashback. What the?
I'm so curious to see what you guys are thinking in your head right now about this situation.
I've got a very specific scene in my head.
Cal's going to be resistant.
No.
Oh.
No, I think Cal's actually going to enjoy this.
This has nothing to do with Cal's reaction.
Oh.
What are you trying to say, buddy?
It's you'll see.
If I can do it.
If you can do it, you'll see.
Okay, hold on just a second, guys. I'm almost there. Stop holding back, blah, blah, blah. Wait, circumstance. Okay, so that meets that description. Scribe on the table. See. Okay.
Oh, so it's instead of roll plus power.
It's roll plus logos. But here's the thing: after Meta describes it, after she describes what the Morrigan's supposed to do, I will choose the sacrifice, the level of sacrifice that is required, right? So, because what it says is, after you describe your action, the MC will choose the degree of sacrifice your character must make to open up her mythos from the following, right? So, significant is your character will probably burn all the tags in that theme, which is temporary, and mark fade or crack. Now, return, your character will replace a theme, which is permanent. At the very least, you will burn all her tags, theme or crack. Your character will probably die or transform forever as ultimate. I am in no way going to say it's anything but significant at this point, because this is the first time we're using this ability, and I'm scared shitless of what that means if we were to go beyond that. Right? Yeah. I don't know what kind of an impact it's going to have for Morrigan if she was to lose one of her mythos. Right? I think that would be absolutely crazy. So,
because she would have a shattered personality.
Well, or what would happen? Well, and that would be interesting too. Or what would happen is, instead of you replacing one of your mythos, you would lose your logos and temporarily go avatar.
Yeah, that would probably be bad. Given who she is.
So, given everything that we've talked about at the table, I think it's important to say that this is significant.
Yeah.
And so you're going to roll. You're going to roll your roll for stop holding back. So it's 2d6 plus your 1 logos.
Yep. I'm not going to look. You're going to just tell me what happens, because I don't want to see this shit. No. Is it bad? Okay. Is it really bad?
Hold on a second. Wait, don't look. You looked.
I did. I failed it.
No, hold on. I'm throwing this to the table. Does entourage apply here?
We're together.
I think it does.
Yeah. We're together. Well, and I think for a murder of crows, that's like an entourage.
Well, that's what I. It's not just the fact that you're together. It's about the group. So, with that in mind, you succeed. You are going to mark a fade or a crack on that theme book that grants you that ability.
Okay.
And you're going to burn all the tags on that theme for this session. And you're going, in order to recover them, you will have to do a montage. It's a power tag, Mike. You're going to have to do a montage to recover them before the end of the session if you need to do that for whatever reason.
I think Mike is getting to the fact that I don't think we can use Entourage.
As I pointed out in Discord, we are not making any changes based on the way that we've got some rule changes that we're going to make in the next week. We are not changing any of those rules tonight. We're going to play as we've been playing the entire week, and the power tag is going to apply tonight. So it is going to work.
Okay.
And so, because ultimately I want this to succeed anyways, because I think it's just fucking a great idea. I can't wait to see what happens, right? Because I want Trend to describe to us what the fuck's going to happen. Right.
Yeah.
But moving forward, yeah, we'll re-examine how we do this next week. But for right now, the power tag applies.
Okay.
Trent is giving that assist. It's a 7. So again, you succeed, so you get to describe this, and then we're going to pass it around the table for them to describe what happens. But you are going to burn all your tags.
Yeah, done.
And you're going to burn.
Burned.
Yeah. And you're going to mark crack or fade on that.
Yep, did it.
Okay.
Done. Okay, so Morrigan, before obviously she does this, she looks to everybody and she's like, this is gonna probably be really overwhelming, but it's the only thing that we can really do to follow. And I just want you to embrace the feeling of freedom. And she steps out of the car and tells them all to follow her, like down to like a private area so they're not in the street. And she like kind of like stands in front of them with her back facing, and you see her like these massive crow wings start to like emerge out of her body. And her back, like it's slowly like as she is doing this, the rest of her body is transforming into these black feathers, and they start folding in on each other until she turns into this crow.
Geo starts to run away. I don't know how quickly whatever you're doing takes effect.
Very quickly.
That's fine. Geo starts to turn into a crow as he is attempting to run and jump whatever fence is in this back alley and get away from you.
So as you jump the fence, describe what happens as the wings begin to form on you and you transform into a crow.
Yeah. Geo is he's climbing with surprising ease as he reaches up, and as he like just sort of crests the top of it, his arm starts to turn into a wing, and it gets smaller, and as he's like jumping and pushing himself off of it, by the time that he would have hit the ground, he's just completely transformed and like just flapping and not really sure like why he hasn't quite hit the ground yet. And then just you see like the crow like and like angry cawing.
I know that calling, yeah.
And he'll fly back to you and just start cawing angrily at you. I assume we can't talk in crow.
We can, I mean, crows can understand. They have a pretty high intelligent form of communication, so.
Well, all right, also Geo's saying, what the fuck did you just do to me?
Yeah.
Crows can mimic speech, so there is some form of that you will be able to do too, right?
Yeah.
But it's limited.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Why?
So Johnny, he's like, what? And then he sees Geo start to run away and turn into a crow, and he's like, what's that? Like, and he's like, as a crow, like just sitting there panic as like his like wings, and he's like shrinking into form, and he's like, and just making a bunch of high-pitched gurgle noises.
Calvin takes it all in stride. No problem whatsoever. But standing on one foot, he reaches up with one of his feet and just grabs a hold of Johnny's beak.
Does Johnny still have super strength in crow form?
That was what, because I was thinking that the car was in motion, that we were following Bjorn's car. Yeah. And I was like, none of us bothered to open the windows. When it happens, I was thinking, and I'm picturing, and Johnny just bang right through the window, and just three other crows just take off after it, and the driver's like, "What the fuck?" And so he goes and checks it, and everybody's gone, and it's just four birds flying away. That's what I thought was going to happen. That's why I was laughing so hard.
Oh no!
I had that thought too, and I was like, "Yeah, what would happen in that case?" But okay. So we're all crows.
We are a murder of crows.
I don't want to be involved in a murder.
Too late.
Where Morrigan is, whatever communication she can muster for you guys. We're following Bjorn's car.
So just out of curiosity, does anybody actually know why it's called a murder of crows?
Yeah, because they
eat dead bodies.
No. Well, they eat the body, sure, but it's more about the way that they attack their enemy. They will murder you. They actually can remember people. Like, they physically know and remember who you are. So don't fuck with crows in IRL, okay?
And if you see more than 2 at a time, it's probably a band of juveniles. Just don't interact with them. If you see a pair of them, it's probably a mated couple. And if you're kind to them, they will remember you, and they're really nice. They're awesome birds. Just don't be a dick.
Yep.
Okay, the reason I raise this point is in reference to what Morrigan did the last time she was a crow.
Mm-hmm.
She flew around.
Because that's I want you all to kind of to describe what it's like as you're kind of moving through the city, kind of following the or looking for Bjorn's limousine.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, are you guys how are you moving through the city? Are you doing aggressively? What's going on? What does this look like when there's 4 crows just kind of moving off together? Kind of describe the narrative for us as we go through this.
Well, given Calvin's mentality, he's going to get as far from the other crows as he can, just to spread a wider net of being able to see, and just be far enough away to keep them in sight, but be able to cover as much ground as possible.
Okay.
Johnny is clumsily trying to fly.
I granted you the powers that come along with the crow, so it's
so like I know how to fly all of a sudden. I'm like,
it's the initial transformation, which is like the overwhelming feeling.
I would go off the direction that the limousine went, and then I look around and do crow shit.
Maybe dive bombing. No, I'm just kidding. Don't do that.
And he's like shooting up, and he's just like looking around, doing little spins in the air.
So
Gio would continue just kind of angrily like squawking at you for a little while, and eventually he would fall back, so he was kind of following behind Morrigan, but like at a pretty far distance to get a kind of wider view.
Want to know what's also a really cool fun fact about crows? They can see completely different pictures at the same time and process them perfectly through each eye. Fuck yeah, crows.
I knew that because you told me that.
Yeah, it was like the coolest shit ever.
All of us that.
Yeah.
So
crows are awesome.
Yes, they are.
Morgan change us all into crows right now, because that sounds really cool.
Right? Can you believe the multitasking I can get done if I could just look at 2 different things and process them at the same time?
Yeah, I would love to be able to pay attention to 2 different monitors and be able to do exactly what I need to do. Absolutely. Okay, so you take off. You all are kind of flying in the city, and it's after dark. So birds flying in the city after dark definitely is an unusual sight. However, you are kind of hovering there, or kind of flying there, heading off in the general direction. Is there any particular approach that you guys take to actually trying to locate the vehicle, or are you just kind of doing your best, sort of doing a best guess because of that direction that you're heading?
Because of the direction, we should be able to. With a bird's eye view, it's relatively quick to see.
Well, and you've got 2 independent pictures going on, right? You've got a left side and right side, and you're able to. So I have one other question for Morrigan about this, because of what you described. As you were before you said you were going to turn into a crow, and then you were going to have Gio take your car. Does that mean all of the clothes and all the things that are on your person when you transform are there when you come back?
No, you don't shed your clothing. So remember when we were describing how the crow form happens last time? Right. It's like everything folds into itself. So like the feathers come up and then cover you, and then you come back to like it's a collapsed into your own self. Now I have no idea how we're going to handle them transforming out of crow, but
okay,
there's that.
So
okay, are we going to be naked?
That's what I was going to ask, because we know that crow transformation works for you, because you said you're very much like Mystique in that way. But We are not. So
Good question.
Yeah, we're wearing.
I mean, I
actual
granted you the
clothes.
same powers that I have when it comes to the transformation, so
Okay, so
Technically.
we'd probably be clothed, right?
technically.
Technically.
I'm going to leave it to you, MC, because I think there's some funniness that can happen with this.
Okay. All right. So you're continuing on, and you're flying over the city, and you see a couple of limos that appear to, kind of be heading in that general direction across a couple of the streets, right? And you're flying through the downtown district between the buildings, kind of following these things. Off in the distance, you hear quite a loud bird call way far above you, up in the clouds. And anyone that looks up, you can see a shadow or shape of some kind, just kind of floating above you, kind of continuing to follow you at pace. And so that kind of unsettles you a bit as you eventually locate his car, as his car is just kind of pulling into a restaurant, quite a nice little restaurant, on the other side of the downtown district.
Okay.
And it's obvious that he's getting out, and then his two bodyguards are going with him inside the building, and the car kind of pulls around to the side.
Okay. We'll probably land across to the building across the street on top. At least I will wait for the rest of you guys to land.
Johnny lands by a nearby dumpster and starts eating food.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
And Lunar
Are
Star.
you a trash crow? Like a trash kitty? Like feral cats?
She's a trash bird.
I'm hungry. Like if there's if someone's holding a hot dog, like Johnny swoops down.
Those are seagulls.
Well, I am a crogle, and so I swoop down and grab the hot dog, and I'm like, "Ah!" And then I laugh, and then I eat the food as I fly off, periodically on the way over there, and I just keep following everyone.
That is not an easy thing to do as a bird. So
I have the gift of throw, and
All right. So Morrigan lands, opposite the building, and you all kind of see her land. You all land with her?
Yeah.
No.
Yes.
I'm looking at Trent because he said no.
Yeah.
What does Cal do?
Cal is circling a little bit.
Okay.
Up near. I figured that. What does the restaurant building look like?
It's it's a small Italian restaurant. Kind of looks like an older establishment inside of the downtown district.
1, 2 stories.
2 stories. But you would have been to this place before. It's how do I want to say this? It's kind of a family-owned place. It's and it's the first floor is definitely sort of like is the restaurant business, and upstairs is where the family used to to stay. It used to be like an establishment where they lived upstairs and worked downstairs, and now the family has moved on, but there still is an apartment building up there, or still is an apartment setting up there.
Okay. So first, Cal is going to land on the edge of the roof and just kind of look around. I mean, he sees where everybody else has landed, but he's just kind of looking around at everything else and looking up to see if that shape is still there.
It is now circling way above, yes, but it's still above the skyscrapers.
Right. Any sense of scale?
It's gigantic.
Okay. Then, as he watches Bjorn and whoever go inside, once they're in and like the car moves on to go park wherever, then he will swoop over and join the rest of the crew.
Okay. And what do you guys do now?
I think I'm gonna have to try to explain to them, in simplest form, that they can drop out of this shape at any point in time if they want to.
I'm going to assume that granting the power gives you. There's like
innate knowledge.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not sure what the innate knowledge is what, or there's an instinctual kind of a thing that kind of goes along with it to understand. And this is really as much about the nature of how Morrigan understands her abilities as it is about the ability itself, right?
Right.
Like you're conveying that level of knowledge.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. So, I don't obviously am not going to be on the roof when I turn back because I don't want to have to get down to the ground. So, I'm thinking side alley, transform back.
Okay. What about the rest of you?
I stay perched on a building, like that's kind of across the street, and like by the alley where Morrigan transforms. So because Johnny does not want to transform because he knows that if he's a parent, he'll get noticed right away. So
sure. Geo, Cal?
Geo goes to a different back alley than the one that Morrigan is in. And as he lands and realizes that he can transform back, he does so, and he just sits down in the corner and just collapses. He starts hyperventilating as he's trying to cope with whatever just happened, and he is not moving at all.
And Calvin just follows along behind Morgan, just doing the standard crow walk, that adorable little thing that every now and again kind of stopping and pecking at something and looking for that perfect bit of French fry that somebody left behind earlier. And then maybe a ribbon like Jeremy the Crow in The Secret of Nim. God damn it, I love that character.
Yes.
Just ribbon everywhere.
And yarn and other things.
Yeah. But he'll ultimately walk back into the alley where Morrigan went and shift back.
For Geo and Cal, what are you wearing? Or are you wearing anything?
Unfortunately for most people, not for Cal, but unfortunately for most people, no, his clothes are sitting back in the alley. He has no problem with nudity. It's a very natural state for him. And so instinctively he was like, I'm shedding all of this stuff and flying free, and he left everything behind.
So are we saying that there's a choice?
Yes, that it's about the instinctual ability of the knowledge that which she conveyed to you. So you can choose what state you end up in.
Geo is clothed, but he is not dressed as... His clothes are not as like perfectly kempt as they were before. Basically, he is rustled and messy, and everything about him looks distraught.
Okay.
I'm surprised you didn't use the word ruffled. I know you used rustled, but I really was expecting.
Okay. And so with Johnny just sort of hanging out in crow form, the rest of you are there.
Yeah, in the alleyway. We have to go looking for Geo, and obviously Cal is now naked. So, well, Cal, I don't think you can go into the restaurant looking like that.
Not legally.
Right.
Question, does it still look like he's wearing his boots?
Yes.
Yeah.
By the way, for anybody who's about to ask, the name of the restaurant is Santino's.
Santino's.
Would I have heard of this place? It's Italian, that's the only reason. And because of my vague connections to mafia families.
This is one of the rare restaurants that is not directly attached to any of the families. However, you are damn right they all eat there because it's damn good Italian food.
Okay. It's fine.
What's that creature thing doing up above?
It's kind of hovering for a bit, but it seems less interested now. Like it's starting to spread out wider and wider because it seemed it seemed interested in the fact that something was flying below it.
Okay.
Well, I'm looking for Geo because he said he went to a different alley. So
He's probably across the street.
okay, I find Geo. Oh dear.
Yeah.
I'm guessing he's like what, rocking back and forth at this point.
Probably.
Basically.
Yeah. Oh shit. Hey Geo.
Stay the fuck away from me.
Yep. I'm gonna let you deal with that one, Cal.
So he's in a different alley.
Oh, I thought you came with me.
No, he's in a different
Oh, okay.
alley.
Okay. Well then, okay. I'm not gonna try to therapy Geo. It's not gonna work because he doesn't trust me. So unless you want me to start rolling against our party members.
You can if you want. I mean, the book is very, very clear that it's possible in just about every example.
Mm-hmm.
So if you wanted to use some more mumbo jumbo voodoo mojo kind of a, you're more than welcome to do that.
Now the Voodoo Bar is on the other side of this district. It's a place called Tic Tics, and it is, oh my god.
Do they have some good mumbo gumbo?
No.
Wait, is Tic Tics in the downtown district? Is it in the old quarter or is it in Tinseltown?
It is right on the edge of the old quarter and downtown.
Okay, so that's interesting. We should talk about that because in my head, downtown and old quarter don't actually meet, but we can figure out a way that works. Tic Tics. I'm running that down.
Okay, TIK-TIK.
Is there a ceiling light on the Italian restaurant?
What do you mean by ceiling light?
Like, I mean, like skylight.
Oh, yes. So as described, it's a 2-story building. Mm-hmm. Second story is definitely dark. And as I described it to Cal, it is definitely a sort of an apartment type setting. It used to be a family kind of living upstairs and then running the place downstairs. They no longer do that, but the apartment is still there. And there are windows, right? And there's definitely like a skylight, that kind of a thing. So
I'm flying towards the skylight.
Okay.
And I'm like flying above, and I'm looking. I'm trying to get like angles on the. So like, here's the skylight. Here's me like above. Like
it's dark in there.
Oh,
it's completely dark in there because it's the second story is dark.
No, but the first story's lit up.
Yeah, the first story is open and the business is open. Right. If the restaurant is open, it's just the second story is dark.
Am I able to see inside of the first story?
No, it's got those terrible sort of like weird, like, colored glass, sort of stained glass kind of things that just make it really difficult to look inside. That's very common for some types of, Italian restaurant establishments, at least.
Okay.
When I was growing up in LA, that's what they looked like. So
I'm gonna land on the top and I'm gonna listen in to see if anyone's in there.
Is that an investigate?
Yes.
In crow form?
You have heightened senses with hearing, so.
Yes, that's what I was just about to.
So you have to add a power tag with crow. I'm guessing.
Yeah.
So there would be a story tag on them.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah.
As crows, so anybody who's a crow would have that story tag, and that story tag will grant you a +1 to your roll and for things that make sense for its whole tag.
Right.
I think that's all that really applies to this.
Okay, roll it.
All right. Oh, okay.
Yeah, you've got one. You've got one clue. If your question is there anybody upstairs, or if there's any activity that you can hear upstairs? No, you can hear the vague activity coming through the floor and the roof of the second story and the roof, but you don't. You hear the sounds of a restaurant, but you don't hear any movement other than maybe some rodents in the second story. Oh God, I did not mean to say that. You know what? I take that back. There's no rodents for Johnny to go and eat. I'm kidding.
Why did you take away his only food?
Yeah, he ate a hot dog.
He's gonna starve.
So
that's practically a rodent.
What he's gonna do is that he's gonna look for a latch on the skylight, and he's going to like, if there is one, and then like open it with his beak and go, and like be very gentle with it, because he doesn't know if he has super strength or not in this form.
Crows can actually use like rudimentary and create rudimentary tools. I just want to say that.
I know that. That's why I'm doing it. So
I love crows. Have I mentioned that I love crows?
You can do it. It's an eventual kind of a thing, right? Like it's going to take you a little bit of time, but you can figure it out and do it so that you can get inside.
Okay. And then I'm just going to boop down inside, and then look around and be like, and like analyze the room with both of my cool eyes. And like,
I love how Johnny is like just embracing this so well.
I am the crow. And then so he's like,
the 9 Inch Nails music.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Go
ahead.
Yeah, so what is it, like an apartment? Is it abandoned? Is there people living?
Oh no,
in
it's a furnished apartment. It's just dark in there and it's a little bit dusty, right? It's definitely been used. It's just not been used in a while, right? And it's definitely furnished, right? It looks like an apartment, or it looks like an upstairs kind of converted into a living space, right?
Mm-hmm.
But it's dark in there. It's a little musty and it's definitely dusty.
And no one's been in there recently, so okay.
As far as you can tell, but it's dark, and you're just. I mean, even with unless crows have amazing eyesight, at night, you would have to. A light would have to be turned on, that kind of a thing.
Let me see. I don't know crow's night sight. Hold on.
Okay, so while you're doing that, why don't we cut to Morrigan, Cal, and Geo and figure out what's going on here?
Well, Cal's still in another alley. I am going to actually try to psychoanalysis on Geo.
This is going to be fun.
Yeah.
Great.
I'm exploring all sorts of new things. The whole new world today, okay?
Also, if I can retcon one slight thing, Geo's clothes are not just ragged, they are different. He's not wearing the same clothes he was before. He's actually wearing a dirty, torn t-shirt that says Misfits on it, and some ripped black jeans.
Okay.
And what kind of boots are you wearing? Are they Doc Martens? Or are they steel-toed, like, sort of motorcycle boots? Are they lace up? Are they? I mean, sorry.
Yeah, they're lace up. They're not Doc Martens. Those things are expensive.
Okay. All right.
They're like a couple sizes too big.
Okay.
Okay. So Morgan's kind of keeping her distance as per Geo's request.
Are they like these, where they're lace up in the front, but they've got all these straps that come around to the buckles on the sides? And no,
that sounds cool.
Yeah,
let's go with that.
Those are fun.
Geo, I know that you're pissed off right now and possibly confused or unaccepting of what just happened. However, our goal here was to follow Mr. Bjorn, which is exactly what we did. So we need your help to continue what we were trying to achieve here, which is figuring out what the next company he's acquiring is. So can you possibly just take a deep breath and a moment to gather yourself so that we can continue down this path? What was that?
Sorry.
What was that?
What was it?
I did. Sorry, it's completely unrelated to the game. Somebody sent me a message on Discord. I did some VO for another game recently, and while we were doing the recording session, I screwed something up, and just out of as just a crazy blooper, I said, "I taste like chicken," and the guy who did the editing was like, "Here, this really made me laugh, and I needed this laugh because holy fuck, blah." And so I was like, "What is this?" And click, and I opened it up. I was like, "Oh shit!" So that's all that was. Sorry.
Lovely.
Mm-hmm. Didn't mean to break the moment.
I'll be honest, completely honest. I've actually thought that was McLoken in the background somewhere in his house. I was like, what the fuck?
I mean, it would be appropriate.
Geo just kind of looks at you with like a disdain. I didn't want no part in this. If you gotta do it, then take care of it, but I don't want any part.
I don't think you really have much of a choice. You told us yourself that you keep getting dragged into this. I did not bring you into the situation that we're in now. I assisted in providing us a method to get somewhere effectively and without being seen.
You gotta think of asking first.
We kind of didn't have a lot of time. I can tell that you definitely don't trust me, and I understand that. But I am not your enemy.
Take care of whatever the fuck you need to take care of. Talk later.
You're just gonna sit out here in the alley in the dirt.
Sit out fucking here. All right.
With the garbage. You're not garbage, Gio, so I kind of feel like maybe you shouldn't sit there.
Maybe I fucking am.
I would like to sense guilt.
Whoa. Wow.
I think this is
definitely appropriate.
Yeah, maybe change the game? Not sure.
I'm going to throw it out to the table because this one is really kind of up in the air to me.
Mm-hmm.
It could be investigate. It could be change the game. It could be take a risk because you're investigating or you're trying to sense the guilt of him.
Mm-hmm.
And it could have dramatic effects on the way that you responded for moving forward.
Right.
What do you guys think? Huh?
Which theme book is it gonna use?
Well, it would be a combination of therapist, so that I know how to react to it, and also shaping fate, which is the sensing of the guilt and desire.
So none of those are the ones that have been burned, right?
Correct. Yeah. No. The theme book that I had to burn was all of my transformative abilities and granting power ability.
Okay.
Oh,
so
I
all
was
the
burning
things
your logos.
No, it did not burn her logos.
Okay.
It burned the theme book that the power or the tag that she used.
Okay.
So,
although
that might be a good point of clarification that we should look into.
Okay.
Refresh my memory. Can people tell when you're doing this?
No.
Perhaps I should be more clear. Can rifts, especially Geo, tell when you're doing this?
I'll leave it up to Johnny.
Given his power tags, to me it sounds like yes. That's going to be a yes.
I would say definitely take a risk.
Wait, hold on. Does his power tags have the ability to counteract psychological effects?
No, it's not about counteracting.
Just understanding that you're using them.
Oh, okay.
So he's got he's got this one tag. He's got actually two tags that kind of apply here, right? One is reveal hidden methods, right? So he can sort of understand that there is a mechanic there is some other element, there is some additional element that's going on here. Seeing through the mist, the other one can apply as him seeing what what you're doing for what it actually is from
that it's not just psychoanalysis for this part. It is actually something that you are using a power for.
Yeah.
Right. And so given that, so you're using 2 power tags, right? Meta?
3.
Okay. You're going to use 3 power tags.
Yeah.
I'm going to say that see through the mist is going to apply as like his sort of defensive kind of a thing.
Okay.
So it's going to be, we're going to apply it like as a weakness right now.
Okay.
We're going to need to check how this actually works later, but that's the way I'm just going to roll with it right now, so that there is some level of resistance to what you're doing to him.
Mm-hmm.
And let's just go 3 - 1, and then just go ahead and roll it. Let's take a risk.
Okay, take a risk. I'm going to roll just the macro that I have set up because
Go for it.
The additional issues that we've had. So
Yep.
Lol. Fucking 1 again. Jesus Christ.
This again goes back to the Roll20 as a tool.
So bad.
Sometimes there's some amazing runs, and sometimes there's some terrible runs.
Don't get me started.
I know.
I had a very bad day with making a character today.
You just got started. There we go.
Yeah.
I can't wait to have that conversation. Okay, so
A 6 is a fail, right?
yeah, it is a fail. I'm just trying to figure out how this rolls out.
Embrace the drama.
Mhm.
Well, because it's take a risk. When anybody fails, it's I don't know. That's actually that's on 7 through 9. No, okay. So it fails.
Do you want me to roll?
It obviously fails.
Yeah.
Like it obviously fails. And Geo, it's very clear that she's trying to influence you in a.
No, not influence. I'm trying to read him.
Right.
Oh, I'm sorry. You're trying to read him. It's obvious that she's trying to read you.
Don't try whatever that freaky other shit that you have on me, all right? It's not gonna work.
Fine. I'll leave you here then.
Geo sits and stares and waits for you to leave.
Cool. Morgan's going to go around the back of the building to see if there's like any other entry doors or anything like that.
Oh yeah, there's a back door to the alley, from the alley leading into the place. It's like there's trash bins and that kind of a thing. It leads directly into the kitchen, and it's obvious it leads directly into the kitchen.
Okay, yeah, I'm not gonna go in because obviously if Bjorn's still in there, then I don't want to cause any issues with him seeing me, especially since I can't disguise myself anymore. I don't really know. I'm gonna look for Cal, I guess, see where he went off to.
Calvin's still in the same alley, but he's just kind of he's far enough back into the alley that he's in the shadows, so that like when cars go by and stuff, the headlights don't really illuminate him, but he can still see the front of the restaurant. But he's just sitting there leaning against the brick wall with this kind of this soft smile on his face, just sort of. They made the bolognese this evening. Too much oregano, though.
Morgan walks up to Cal. Enjoying yourself?
Mostly. Not exactly my preferred environment, but breeze feels good.
Geo's having a crisis of the mind, and he hates me, which is actually not far from what he was already before with me, so not really that big of a deal.
You are making friends all over the place, aren't you?
Not really my job to make friends.
Hmm.
You have something to say to me, don't you? You've been very tight-lipped around me.
Yep.
Are we going to talk about it?
Probably not.
Great.
I mean, you're welcome to try.
No, I'd really rather not. I've dealt with closed-off men my whole entire life, and I really don't need to deal with it now.
Okay. So be it.
When you're ready, you can let me know. And if you're never ready, then that's fine too.
Yes, it is. So, what's the plan?
I got us here. Geo won't do anything. I have no idea where Johnny went. I'm guessing he's still up on the roof.
And with that, we're going to cut to Johnny.
I don't know if crows have night vision. I couldn't find anything.
What, Meta doesn't know? I mean, she loves crows, right?
So they have really good vision.
You guys are on your own. No more facts from me.
Wow.
She took her.
She makes the murder and then she abandons us.
She takes her junior high report and goes home with his power.
So I'm gonna find like a light switch or a lamp.
Okay.
And I'm briefly going to like hop over. Like if there's a lamp in there, it's a furnished apartment. So I'm just gonna be like look around real quick and then like turn it on. Be like and then like look around.
All right. After a little bit of time, you're able to accomplish that again. Cal, Morrigan, Geo, if you look up at the apartment, you see that a light goes on in the apartment.
And then as soon as I'm like looking around, what do I see in the apartment? Like
it looks like a normal sort of lived-in situation. It's not as lived in respects to like, you know, completely furnished and there's like, you know,
so
it's now sort of like you know, everybody's guest bedroom.
There's no shoes or anything, or there's no like obvious anyone's currently living here. Okay, so then I go and I look for the door that would go downstairs.
Okay.
But like, and then when I see that, I go and I turn the light back off, and then I hop over to the door, and then I'm going to flap up and then grab the doorknob and put my claws into it and see if that works. Does that work?
Wait a minute! You put your talons into the.
Yeah, I'm gonna try. I want to see if I have my super strength, so I'm doing a little test.
What does the table think about this? I'm kind of curious before I make a call because I've got an opinion about what would happen here.
Have you seen The Expanse?
Yes, I have seen The Expanse.
Okay, you know in the beginning where he's sitting, I think they're on Sirius.
Mm-hmm.
The little bird that's outside that like flaps once and it just sort of hovers for a few seconds. And then that's what I figure him flying is like if he still has his super strength and he flaps, boom, and he is gone. And just
But this is where electronics and arcade repair comes in, because he learned how to delicately live through life because he can't walk through life normally. He always has to be like cautious because he doesn't want to hurt anyone because people run into him and fall over, so he feels bad about that. So he's always like cautious about like and being like restrained in somewhere. But
sure,
in dealing with other objects, sure, but flying, especially when he's enjoying it.
So let's roll it as take a risk.
He winds up in Nebraska.
So the reason I threw it out to the table is because in my head, what Morrigan did was extend the shape and the form and the instinctual abilities that come along with that, which would add to Johnny's inherent theme books and power tags, right? And would not affect his ability to use his powers in that way. He would just be using them from the form of a crow. It would take some getting used to, but yes, he would be able to do it. But I was curious what everybody else thought about it because there's definitely a place, you know, there's definitely an argument to be made to say that by taking that form, it grants you a different set of, because you could not fly before. You could not flap wings before and fly, and now you can. It grants you a different set of, essentially a different tool set to play with for the time being in that form. So that's
suddenly being so dexterous is just weird.
Say what?
I said your feet suddenly being so dexterous is just weird.
That would be an argument just to say that even though you still have your abilities, you using your talons in that. Well, but here's the thing, right? Because Morrigan grants him the ability and the instinctual understanding of how to fly and how to articulate with those talons and how to use the beak, I think there's an argument to be made that he would.
The life experiences just transfer over.
Exactly.
Right.
Okay. All right. So then I think, yes, I think that you can do that.
Okay. So can I open the door? Or do I have to take the risk roll?
I think you could over time. You could figure it out. So this is again one of those situations where it's more about taking 20 than it is about making an actual roll.
Okay. So like taking a 10 or whatever.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Okay. So I take a 10. All right. And then and does the stairs lead to the business?
Yeah, it leads down into the kitchen, and that moment that door opens, Johnny, all of those smells of that Italian food. Santino's is one of the best Italian restaurants in town. It all kind of overwhelms your senses, and you feel a little bit of a desire to go enjoy some Italian food. I mean, it's
okay.
It's drawing you in.
Okay, I'm going to sneak downstairs. I'm gonna hop like a little crow, because like it smells really good, and I want some. So I'm gonna find where like there's like a meatball thing, or like what's not being watched right now.
It's a small kitchen. It's it's a small kitchen, so there's a lot going on in this small space. But I think pasta is probably the best example.
There's a whole rack of it hanging up, drying right now.
Mm-hmm.
When they're not paying attention, I'm going to swoop in and grab some pasta. And
I mean, it's good pasta.
It's about an 8-foot strand right now. So
yeah, well, it's about to be a 0-foot strand because I'm gonna eat it. So it doesn't matter if it drags on the ground. He's gonna quietly be a crow and fly back, and then and then so do you
while you're eating this 8-foot strand of pasta, kind of just chomping away, you get an assessment of the kitchen, and you can see that it's quite a small kitchen.
Mm-hmm.
There's four people working in there. There's obviously one chef, and it's a mama. She's definitely working the different pieces as her sons are kind of doing supporting her, and you see the daughters are coming in and kind of doing the whole serving thing and coming in, picking up food and going in and out. And it's obvious where the door is for you to go into the restaurant proper.
And can I hear anything outside in the restaurant?
It's loud, and there's lots of laughter, and there's lots of carousing, and a little bit of canned Italian music.
I'm trying to think how I want to do this.
Dangerous pastime.
Yeah, I know. When the door swings open, what kind of tables do they have?
It's kind of an intimate setting, right? It's definitely, the room is surrounded by booths, mm-hmm. and they've got high backs, and they're the light, and it's kind of dim in there. So it's got that sort of intimate sort of feeling. Each of the booths are a little bit sort of rounded, so that it's not an obvious kind of thing what's going on in there. Right, in each booth, it gives you a little bit of privacy, a little bit of it's got a romantic kind of feel, and then there are tables that kind of line the center of it, and you can hear the clinking of glasses as if there was a small bar or something off on the far side.
Okay, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to hop down, and I'm going to sneak around, and as a little crow, because no one's going to be paying attention to the ground unless they drop something. So just as a little crow, like hop around out into the lobby, and I'm gonna, and like the tables are like, there's like a cloth over it, right?
Cloth over the tables?
Yeah,
absolutely.
Okay, so he's gonna go in there and go to the closest table and hide under the cloth.
Okay. So you bounce your way through, zigging and zagging, trying to get, make sure that you're not stepped on, because there are, 3 women have just kind of run back and forth, from you, just trying
and
to.
I'm using my ultimate fighter ability, where I am actually like dodging out of the way, like they're attacking, like their stomps are attacks, but I'm moving out of the way and like being ultimate fighter crow. My UFC match starts next month. Ultimate
So
Fighter
which classic
Crow,
80s
UFC
game are you actually playing?
Huh?
So which classic 80s video game are you actually playing in this scenario?
Ooh, that's a good one. It's a little bit of Frogger, but I also think it's a little bit of Contra.
Okay.
It's pronounced Contra.
Contra. So I get in there and I get in the table and I start listening. I start seeing if I can see Harold Bjorn.
Not from under the table, not in the not
like
under
I can't peek down. Like the tablecloth doesn't go all the way down.
Oh no,
like,
it doesn't. But it's such an intimate, tight setting. You can't really see him, and all you really see is legs, and you see up, but you don't see much more beyond that.
Okay, so I kind of like peek my head out and look around the room, and then see if I can see him.
You can't see him at this point.
Okay.
You can sort of hear a voice that sounds a little booming, but it's coming from across the room as far as you can tell.
Okay, I'm going to make my way to the next table and to the next one, kind of get closer to that.
Okay. All right, so you keep doing this, and the voice gets a little bit louder and a little bit louder, but you're not close enough to be able to see it, right? You can't. It's around a corner, and it looks like it's when you kind of look out. There's like a bar, and it's clearly there's a corner that you can't see beyond, and the bar is too tall for you to be able to see over, right? Because you're looking from the ground at this point.
Can I use my heightened senses to listen in?
Your heightened senses to listen in, but yes, you can, and you're gonna have to roll it though.
Okay. So I'm gonna do investigate at a +1. I'm seeing if I got anything else that will help. I think that's it. So I got a +1.
Crow, the story tag crow.
That he's using that.
Oh,
I thought you also had heightened senses on somewhere else.
Oh no.
Never mind.
Okay. So here we go. 7.
So you can sort of make out that Harold's voice, and you can hear that he's having a conversation with another man, whose voice is a slightly higher timbre than his, because Harold is kind of low and booming. But you can't get much more other than the exchange is over some serious business, and they're talking in very kind of hurried, hushed tones.
Okay. So am I able to get closer?
You can try, but it would be taking a risk, because you would have to come out in the open in some way. Because there's no more tables. You're against the far side, and there's a.
Okay, I would use to go all the way.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's all I really have. I'm looking at impressive, because I've made it this far as a little crow, and I'm looking for a shadow and like blending in.
Okay.
Yes. So let me.
You're gonna hit him with all you got. Is what you're gonna do, or
to go all the way and impressive.
Oh, okay.
For taking a risk or sneaking around.
Okay, which would you prefer to do? Because in one case, you taking a risk would be exposing yourself, or sneaking around would be finding a better position to hear the conversation.
Probably getting in a better position to hear.
Okay, so sneak around then.
Yeah, sneak around. As much as like Johnny would probably like, as much as he would love to take a risk and see how that fails. But all right. 7. Oh, I actually clicked it. So that's a 9.
All right. So yeah, it is a little bit complicated though. So you describe to me as you kind of navigate, and tell me about the better position where you can actually see Harold and who he's talking to.
Okay, so you said it's around the corner at the bar.
Yeah, it's like you're on the other side of essentially a corner of the bar under a table. So you're a couple feet from the bar and around a corner.
Around the corner, like, so I imagine there is like a room where it's like it's very dark in there, right? So I would actually elevate. And what color are the walls? Are they like a dark wooden, like furnished walls, or are they like white painted walls?
No, they're definitely dark and I mean, the colors are browns and oranges and reds and kind of like brick and stained wood kind of a thing.
The darkest color I can find. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna slowly like climb a wall and like hang out into an area right there. But this is what I want to do. I want to find a place where it looks like I'm perched and I look like a dead stuffed raven crow thing, and I'm like,
okay, so you find your way around the side of the restaurant beyond a table. So you dance through a couple tables and come around to the next sort of table that's next to that side of the bar, but around the corner. But you're still sort of under the table. But you kind of claw your way up, and the couple that's sitting at this particular table, as you're kind of making your way up, they're so drunk they don't even know what's going on, and nobody else really kind of notices what's happening as you kind of jump up and hit on the perch, and you look over and you see Harold, and he's talking to a short Asian man, very portly, balding, and they're having a hushed conversation about the deals that aren't going well.
okay. Do they say anything specifically about the deals?
No, they just say each acquisition hasn't won as well as we needed them to, and now we're having to renegotiate. And that this is a huge problem, and Harold is not happy about this at all.
Hold on, let me write this down real quick. Renegotiate.
No, you can't write it down.
No. Okay. Harold not happy. Harold mad.
Hulk angry.
At that, I listen a little bit more. If they keep talking about like kind of the same stuff and they're not really getting anywhere, I may try to like start sneaking out of there.
Yeah, there's hush conversations going on, and it just again continues to talk about contractual details, but nothing that kind of stamps kind of jumps out at you as this is what this is. It mentioned a specific company, but there's these contractual details that keep coming up and talking about how the acquisition isn't going well, or that the hostile takeover isn't going to happen, and it's got to be
hostile takeover. Wait, hostile takeover.
Yeah, hostile takeover hasn't gone well, and now it's got to be a partnership, and that the partnership the deals are taking way too long.
Well, we need a partnership. Okay. And then on that, if they don't say anything anymore, they kind of repeating themselves. Are they drinking?
They're not drinking. There are drinks in front of them, but they are not drinking. They are talking very specific details about the businesses. They are not names aren't being dropped.
Mm-hmm.
And
because they don't need because it'd be kind of weird if they're like, yeah, I own Skittles and we're trying to hostile take over Reese's, and it'd be kind of weird to say that in the conversation.
That's a weird like flavor palette that you just described there. Let's not go there again.
Okay, I'm sorry. Skittles and M&Ms. All right. So
it's just a strange.
Anyways,
M&Ms and Reese's, however, that could work.
Yeah, I think they were called Reese's Pieces.
I think we're on to something. All right.
Anyway, someone call Reese's and Hershey.
So as I like hear them like talk about like what's not going well and all that kind of stuff, and it's kind of like the same old thing. Johnny's just like, all right, and then kind of like slowly makes his way to the front door.
As you begin to move, you hear from across the restaurant, "Bird! There's a bird in here!" Somebody points it out. And immediately somebody comes out with a broom and starts patting at you. Get out. Open that door. Come on, get out.
As you say open the door and are like, get out. I go with the flow and get out the door. and then shoot out the door into the air.
And as you're kind of flying away, you kind of look back to the door, and you can see that both the Asian man and Harold are looking at you.
Oh, I mean, yeah, I'm a crow. I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. I'm just a crow.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with a crow just kind of sitting there perched, kind of. Yeah, okay, all right.
Yeah,
you fly away.
Yes, I fly away. I don't go back to the group. I fly away, and then I sneak back to the group.
Oh, you sneak back to the group
and sneak up on them as a crow.
Okay. Do you transform?
No.
We are in 2 separate locations.
You are in 2 separate locations.
So I fly out. So I imagine this is how it is. So here's the business. I broke into it. Geo's up here. Tren and Morrigan are over here. I fly over to Geo, and I land in front of him, and I'm like,
Johnny, is that you?
Yep.
You wanna stop being a bird?
Nope. See.
All right. Do you see anything?
Yep. Later. Tell.
All right, I guess.
Yep. Food.
All right, you want to go eat something? I mean, I can't.
Yep.
I can't exactly take you into a restaurant if you're a bird, though.
Away. Back.
All right, we can do that. And Geo kind of pushes himself up off the ground, and we'll walk over to the other alley where he saw Morrigan come from.
And so Johnny doesn't actually take that way. Johnny like flies around a long way, and then comes over. And as he like lands over there in front of Morrigan and Cal, he's like, "Ta-da!"
See, you're enjoying yourself.
Yep. Food.
At least one of you did.
Away.
Well then, I need to make a phone call. Did you find anything out, Johnny,
Yep.
before? Okay, can we talk about that?
Away. Yep.
Okay.
Calvin kind of scoffs at the, can we talk about that?
Right.
Yep. Food.
Well, you can't have food as a crow, so you need to turn back.
Yep.
Now.
Away.
No. Now.
Scene.
You can't get into a car as a crow.
Up. Fly.
No.
Fly.
I think he's all right. We can just... We'll get in the car and he'll follow.
Morrigan's gonna just start walking down to like go around the corner to call the Apollo.
I'm
Okay.
sorry for snapping at you earlier.
You don't need to apologize. I did something that was against your will.
Yeah, but we're trying to investigate something, so I understand. Just I don't like having others' powers put on me. All right, it's just please.
Don't worry, it's not going to happen again.
Calvin sort of walking past and he's like, she could have done a lot worse. And just strolls on by.
You know, Cal, being passive aggressive doesn't get anybody anywhere.
You know fully well exactly what you did.
Yeah, and I know fully well why you won't talk to me about it.
And his expression sort of shifts for a minute. Not quite surprise, but almost. It's clear that there's, you know, like a realization for him and he just sort of and turns and just keeps strolling.
What?
Can you transform now, Johnny?
Away.
We are away.
Are we away? Or wait.
Yeah, we went around the like block and stuff to get farther away from the restaurant.
Away. Far away.
I often do not regret my actions, but in this case, I might make an exception.
Ta-da!
I need to make a phone call.
Morrigan's phone responds with an audioble notification that says your chariot awaits as your vehicle pulls up.
Great. Forgot to turn the volume off. Okay, we get in the car, I'm guessing, and Johnny can't get in the car because he's a crow. So
wherever it goes, I start following above it.
Okay. Well.
Okay, and so the driver kind of looks back at Cal a little bit.
Oh yeah.
You see a little bit of a smile and a little bit of concern at the same time, as the driver clearly likes what he sees. So he's worried about what it's going to do to his car.
It was a fun party. And then Morrigan looks back at her phone.
Calvin sort of leans up towards the is it just like a regular car?
Yeah, it's like a like a Civic, right? It like there's
Actually, Calvin has to sit in the front seat.
Yeah.
So he just kind of leans.
I'm a crow and I can't sit in the car, but the nudist can.
I was gonna say Calvin would happily just scoop you up and carry you. You know,
how much weirder could it be?
Put you on his shoulder.
I guess. I mean, if that's
You're
what's happening.
A nudist and a parrot crow. Okay.
And so Calvin kind of looks at the driver and sort of smiles in his usual way, which is both sultry and pleasant. And he's just like, I swear I'll make it up to you if anything gets messy.
And you see the guy. You see the guy kind of put a card on the dashboard and sort of slide it over as he's kind of driving.
Calvin will pick it up and just be. And he goes to put it in his pocket, but he doesn't have one. And so he just puts it in the other hand and kind of folds his hands in his lap, but not over his crotch.
Morrigan is very glad and grateful she's sitting in the back seat.
Yep.
Well, we don't have time to wait, so whose place are we going to first? Am I dropping you guys off?
Well, given you the attitude you people seem to be showing, we're not going to my place ever.
Well, I'm never bringing you guys to my house. You're welcome to my office anytime.
Me first then.
Great. So we're gonna drive, I'm guessing, and drop everybody off.
Okay.
Where's Cal's getting dropped off, since you don't want us knowing where your house is?
Oh, it's not that he doesn't want to know where.
Oh.
That he doesn't want to know where you live, or he doesn't want you to know where he lives. His house is not exactly a clothing optional place. There is an entire wardrobe right by the front door. Your clothes come the fuck off when you get to his house. They have lots of people who are like, please remove your shoes when you enter our home.
Yes.
For him, it's everything. Everything comes off. You don't come to his house and stay dressed while you're there.
Okay.
So.
Fair enough. And I guess Johnny's the last person to drop off, but he's a crow,
but he's a crow.
I mean, technically, I would have to go to Tren with Tren, and then because I'm his parrot right now, and then I just like as soon as he gets out, like I just fly away.
Okay, well, I'm gonna let you guys deal with that then, and I'm gonna drop off at my car, and then picking up Cal's stuff that he left behind.
Okay.
And then making my phone call. I get a phone call.
You want to use a lifeline? Sure, go ahead. And yes, Christ, you can draw it. Please do.
Derek picks up. Hello.
Hey, Derek. Sorry, it's been a very busy day. What's going on?
Yeah. So I had an interesting conversation today, and I'm kind of curious if you've been approached yet. There's a woman looking into the Gephardt Caparelli case. You know anything about that?
The one who murdered his family?
Yeah, the city worker.
It was years ago.
It was an open and shut case, right?
Yeah. So what's going on? Is somebody trying to reopen it?
I don't know, but just seems a little strange, don't you think?
Yeah. Was there something in the news about it, or what prompted it?
No idea. When was the last time you actually went out to the prison and visited him?
I don't know, a year maybe?
Hmm.
I don't go back there after.
Yeah, I'm aware. It's just an unusual situation. Anyways, I wanted to check in to see if she had contacted you.
What's her name?
Flora something here. I've got it written down in my notes.
Flora McKill, everyone.
Flora Mortis, I believe is her name.
So
Okay.
close.
How does she even know about the details of the case?
She works for the coroner. She's a specialist of some kind.
Oh.
Yeah, she's a special investigator, and so she's looking into it. It just seems odd because the conversations have gone pretty focused pretty quickly on this.
What are your suspicions?
I'm not sure yet, but weird things have happened in the last couple of days, right? So I just be careful.
Where are you right now?
I'm at the precinct. I'm still working some of the details on the Phoebe case, the Phoebe Dairy case. So,
we should probably talk about that. Do you want to meet me at my office? I don't want to talk about this at the precinct.
yeah, give me a half hour.
Okay. Okay.
That's where we'll end it. What was
Why
that
is Fred so excited?
I know. I want to know what he's thinking.
I was really hoping we could get to that moment, that moment of Cal kind of looking surprised when she said, yeah, and blah blah blah, because he didn't know that she did what she did until she just admitted it to him.
Mm-hmm.
He suspected very strongly, given the evidence at hand, but he wasn't certain until that moment. And so now things will probably get a bit interesting.
Yeah.
Depends on whether he turns on her or not.
Welcome to Everybody Hates Morrigan.
Is that the name of the show? Everybody Hates Morgan? No, that's not true. Johnny loves Morgan right now because he's a crow.
That's true.
Here's the thing. Yeah, I'm a crow and I'm flying around and no one has that's it. I ended the episode as a crow. I accomplished the most investigation as a crow.
It's true. You did like everything.
Johnny, boy detective, part-time crow.
At some point tomorrow morning, there is going to be a news report of a massive stunt kite that was brought down in the park, and it's going to be whatever that thing was that finally decided, oh yeah, Johnny looks tasty, and comes at him, and Johnny kills it in the course of the night, and it just crashes in the park. And so all the sleepers see it as a giant kite that crashed into the park in the middle of the night.
He may go investigate it because it did spike his curiosity, but he had to go look at what was Harold doing. So he saw a giant thing in the air and swooping around, so he's kind of curious about it. And
Or
he's
it's
a
his
crow.
first girlfriend.
That got awkward.
Calvin.
God. That was a good episode though. I enjoyed that. I'm looking forward to like the conflicts being resolved, and I hope
Or not resolved.
or not resolved. Or I mean, resolved is a funny word. It could mean that we're all friends again, or it could mean that someone dies. Either way, conflict over. But yeah,
I gotta say this before you start the outros. I'm a little surprised that Gio didn't share any of the information that he got with anybody else about Morrigan, and I'm a little surprised that Cal didn't say a damn word about the exchange that he had with the beasts. You guys are playing a little bit close to the chest in some ways, and I'm very curious to see how those particular elements of the turmoil among the crew is going to resolve themselves, because I know that Morrigan is definitely going to have some issues in both cases, and I think Johnny is just going to be boy detective throughout the whole thing.
Well, yeah. Morrigan, like what Gio knows about Morrigan, there's nothing incriminating there.
Nothing.
It's not incriminating. It's the mystery. The mystery is strong there for Gio now, right? Yeah. There's the fact that the criminal element, essentially the hard-boiled element of the underbelly of the crime, the world, is significant, right? There's like they're very aware of Morrigan and who she is.
Well, right? Yeah, I mean, like she's, as you said, they're not 100% sure what her success rate is, but when she's working on a case with the police, people go away.
Yeah,
people do go away.
Yeah, and yeah, Gio's like very suspicious of that, and given like how you've acted and like the fact that he, along with Cal, kind of suspects that you murdered that guy that we let go.
How does he know about that?
It was like right after, when she came back in, like you could smell it. Gio could sense there was something off about her, and could sense that you could sense something was off about her. Like, and were clearly disturbed by it. At least I think that's how it went. But I'm pretty sure there was at some point when it was kind of acknowledged that Gio understood.
Johnny doesn't know anything.
At the very least,
Johnny's why he's a detective.
At the very least, Gio understood that there was something she wasn't saying, and that Cal kind of understood it, or was disturbed by it as well.
Nobody has outright asked Morrigan if she killed that guy.
Yeah.
If you ask her, just wait and see what happens.
Okay.
Is that a threat? Are you threatening us?
No, I am.
Just wait to see it. I hope you do.
Nobody has actually
then we'll die.
And said, "Did you kill that guy?" Like nobody has actually asked her a direct question. In fact, nobody's asked her anything.
Well,
you're right.
You said you know what you did.
Yeah, but you didn't actually bring it out into the open. It's just between the Morgan and Cal.
Right.
Yeah.
So I'm saying like nobody's been direct with Morgan about what happened.
Right.
I do wish I had been a little bit more direct, or had like gotten to like discuss more of the reason behind it, but I think that Gio's mental state right then was also like a little bit too shattered to like gather his thoughts really. Also, me as a player wasn't able to gather my thoughts. But yeah, I can't wait to see how that plays out. But let's go ahead and go around to like our cast and everything, because we it is a little bit late. Let's go ahead and
I could go for like 4 more hours.
That's true. Yeah. Because every time we do this, we like start to get into it, and we're like, all right, this time we're gonna get all the clues, and then we just like get so into like the role playing of every step of it. And
I just want to put out there, comparing to the other shows, I'm not talking shit about the other shows. I feel we found out more about the story than the other shows.
So it's interesting. I will say this. Mike and I talked about this last night after the I believe they're calling themselves Team Lazarus now. After Team Lazarus' show. Each show is pulling very interesting and different threads. You guys are on the most direct path. The doozies are definitely sort of touching back and forth. And really the focus is going on to the Caparelli case, or the Gephardt case, for a lot of interesting reasons, because it's tangentially related to what the main storyline is for for Team Lazarus. So what's great is it's providing a bunch of hooks like we saw at the end there for Morrigan with Derek talking about Flora, because Flora is aggressively approaching this, and it's going to set some red flags. So what I'm hoping to do is that sets up some interesting exchanges when we do a crossover of some kind, right? Because that level of conflict is going to be fun. That level of interaction is going to be great.
I still vote that Flora and Morrigan cannot be on the same show together.
Shut up! No, we can't.
Same people.
No,
Ready?
because-
I have the cast. It's me, Flora, Getfart, and guess what the first one is?
Rosalind.
Yes.
It's not like Salty's been talking about it in chat all night.
And then you can call that Getfart's Angels, that episode.
I'm not even going to say anything, because if we do this, that is the crossover you want. And I'll tell you why, Johnny. Because some shit's going to go down that's going to be absolutely amazing. Just going to leave it there. And it's not going to be doing with the murdering and killing of innocent people either. Well, innocent.
It's just going to bring upon the apocalypse of Metropolis.
I'm talking about the advocacy that they have for Getfart, and then my stance as the Morrigan, and my connection to the police and that case. I'm just saying.
Well, so actually, I already know how that crossover that would go, because I already have the plot hook or the story hook that makes perfect sense to get revealed and get explored in that particular story, and it'll rock all your socks off. I'm just going to say that right now.
Cal doesn't wear socks.
When people see him through the mist, the sleepers, he definitely is wearing socks with his boots.
Yeah, that's what they see. He's not wearing socks. It's just,
I mean, when they look under his kilt, they definitely see socks coming out of the boots.
His kilt.
Are they leader?
Oh, you mean when they look below the kilt, not under the kilt? I was like, he doesn't wear socks.
I mean, he
Not
can be
just
like Red
one.
Hot Chili Peppers.
Doesn't wear a single sock.
Trent messaged me that privately.
God.
The sleepers probably see him wearing just fuzzy pajama bottoms and boots. It's probably all it is. And he's like Steve in the Red Hot Chili Peppers.
Wait. Time out. So he looked like McLoken when he gets up and walks away from his streaming site?
Don't tease. I swear to God.
Tell me more.
All right, we keep going on and on and on.
Yeah.
And we still haven't done our outros yet. So.
Yeah, no. let's go ahead and go around. And let's start with the ever wonderful and conflict-inducing the Morrigan Metamancer. To be fair, we're inducing the conflict. You just did a thing.
Yeah, I did a thing that was right to do, and you guys just don't get it.
Oh, that conversation's coming.
I can't wait.
Moral dilemmas.
I can't wait. Johnny, be prepared for me to do another Stop Holding Back in the near future.
Great.
Yes.
Great.
Yes. So your outro.
I'm gonna up the, what is it? The cost? Is that what we called it? What was it? I'm going to I'm gonna update I'm gonna up the sacrifice depending upon what it is. I'm just gonna let you know.
No, I mean, I hope it doesn't come to that, but
She's gonna do her outro.
Sorry. Okay, I'm done. Oh wait, I'm supposed to say stuff?
Outro.
Yeah, your
Who
outro.
Are you in,
I thought you were just making a pass at me about
No. We're going through the line.
Okay. Hi, I'm Metamancer. I play a horribly cruel but justifiably cruel character named Morrigan. I am doing roleplay 5 days a week, and I do one show on my channel currently with a second one happening at the end of the month, starting like Fridays. It's gonna be a 40k Dark Heresy game, and then I'm on a bunch of other shows. You guys can just go to my Twitch channel and look at my schedule, and that will just give you all the information. So I'm not gonna just repeat myself, or just follow me on Twitter for announcements. And that's pretty much it.
Awesome. Yeah, go follow Meta. Her character on here is debatably evil. Her DMing in Call of Cthulhu is definitively evil. All right, let's go over to Trendane.
Yeah, that would be me. And I was playing Calvin the Naked this evening, which he's perfectly comfortable with. He's fine with it. I am so thrilled for how things are going right now. It's just amazing, and I really hope. Oh, right, because he needs to respond to a text from Rosalind, but he doesn't have his phone. Oh,
Oops.
well. Yeah, I was gonna say she's got his phone. Yeah, okay. So the Apollo driver dropping us off last, when Johnny flew away, Calvin just kind of leaned back in and was like, "Want to go off the clock for a minute?" And took him back up into his place, and yeah. Nice. It was a fun night after all. So and I am, as stated at the beginning, I am a professional voice actor and audiobook narrator and video game personage who is in the process, whatever, of narrating a BattleTech novel called Embers of War, and I'm in a BattleTech video game by Harebrained Schemes, which is coming out. The launch window is April. So what I'm trying to do, trying to get both of them to release at the same time and cross promote each other. Oh, that would be just amazing. Oh yeah, McLoken.
Hi. Hello, my name's McLoken. You can find me at twitch.tv/McLoken. Yeah, and you can hang out with me while I do my own D&D show on Wednesdays called Chosen. We're getting towards the end of season 1 right now, and then I do fantastic role playing here, and also on Call of Cthulhu on Sundays on Metamancer channel, which is fantastic. Which I'll also be on the Warhammer 40k Dark Heresy. That was the character I rolled today, and it had a lot of ones. So
Nice.
I was really mad at the quantum roller on Roll20 today. I was like, you motherfucker.
Revel in it.
Not when you get so many fucking ones that it makes you a gimp in a lot of ways.
Yeah, even my hit points. So it was like 9 plus 1d5, and I was like, all right, this should be fine. And then I rolled a 1 again, and I was like, it like literally in my head, it was just like, do it.
See, I don't have a gimp mask. So I can't put it on and go.
But yes, I'm McLoken. I love you. Johnny's shooting straight up into the air as a crow and flying around as a crow because it's only probably 9 o'clock at night currently. So he has the whole evening ahead of him.
We had a long
Man, your parents
day.
are probably missing you. It's right. Have you
I'm
been back
17.
yet?
I'm a man. He's just flying around being a crow. I mean,
All right. Do you have school?
It's
no,
summertime.
it's summer.
Oh, it's summer. That's right. All right, you're fine.
Yeah.
And he mowed the yard, so it's fine.
Yeah. I got
And
approval from my
he did
dad.
show up to the arcade too. He did show up to the arcade and did do some repairs. So.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
You're doing your job. All right, respectable.
That's it for me. I
love
got nothing.
I love McLoken.
I did become the UFC tonight, Ultimate Fighter Crow. So
I love him. All right, thank you. Yeah, and definitely go follow McLoken as well. Johnny, VideoStoreCowboy, why don't you tell us about you?
Run this channel called twitch.tv/VideoStoreCowboy. I do this thing called 6 and 20 with these guys, and we do 2 other shows, Tuesdays and Wednesdays. Tuesdays on my channel, Wednesdays over on Unmade Gaming, and then Thursdays we do here. It's this crazy shared collaborative world. Blah 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 blah. I am really wiped this week. You guys fucking kicked my ass like 10 times over in respect to the amount of stuff that happened. So all my information's in chat. Go ahead and follow me, hang out, whatever. Catch everything on YouTube. Blah 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 blah. Yeah.
okay. There's 2 things. I would like to say we did not break the game today. And we all had like pretty legit rules and like legit. We didn't have like crazy amount of powers.
But there's
we had to come up with a crew tags, which I read about today, So like we got to get together and be like, what are our crew tags? And
You
then
guys-
like,
Yeah, you guys are now a crew, so you definitely need to do that.
so one of the things that I found out about crew tags is that they can be used once per session,
Mhm.
and then they regenerate when we're doing this portion. So
Mhm.
Proud
Yep.
pros.
Neat.
no, geeking out during the credits.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
So the one thing I will say about that, is that is one of the factors that we do need to take into account, because there, just for everybody who's still actually watching and kind of listening into this, we will be talking about some rule changes or some adaptations to the rules to make them much more clear, so that we're following the rules in a much more significant way. One of the things we do have to take into consideration, though, is the shitty, and I say shitty because of the runs that you can get. The shitty Roll20 RNG. Sometimes, Tuesday night, every roll that they did was a success, even regardless of the amount of power tags that they used. They were all successes, right? And tonight, there was a lot more mix of it. Last night, it was a little bit more on the success side than it was on the failure side, but it was the way that the RNG works for Roll20 just really kind of sucks for things like that, right? Some nights it's great, and some nights it's terrible, and it's just, we have to factor it into the conversation.
It's the quantum roller, but I don't want to. I don't want to roll. Like, let's see. It's not 2 and a 6 and 8. So
it's not just the quantum roller. It's the quantum roller and the fact that there are so many games going on that there is such a spread of that randomness that sometimes you do get, runs of just really good rolls because there are so many places where that's being pulled, right?
Yeah.
So, it really there's a bunch of factors that actually affect it. So we should factor that into the conversation.
Randomness is hard.
It is hard.
I failed technically both of my rolls today. Three of my rolls.
You did.
Yeah. That was rough.
And you handled it so well too. I was really impressed.
Are you being sarcastic?
No, actually, I think you did great tonight. I think
I can't tell sometimes. Sorry.
you weren't like Adam in our Call of Cthulhu campaign where he proceeds to yell and curse at his dice rolls.
Yeah, well,
because he fails all the time.
Yeah, I've GM'd how long for a Call of Cthulhu game where failure is pretty much 90% of the time. So
yeah, that's true.
When you failed so much, it's easy to be like,
you get used to it.
Whatever.
All right.
Anyway.
Well, we should get wrapping things up here.
Yes.
Yeah, definitely go follow VideoStoreCowboy. Like you said, 6 and 20 is the thing we do across 3 channels. So the links are up there to go follow VideoStoreCowboy and Unmade Gaming, the other 2 channels where this thing happens. Additionally, the link is in chat for the Twitter account for the entire group, 6 and 20. It's word 6, letter N, word 20. On Twitter, and you can also subscribe on YouTube so you can get all the recordings of past broadcasts and all that cool stuff. Additionally, in chat, there is a link for where you can buy a copy of this awesome book over from Son of Oak. Get the Game of City of Mist, the hardcover and PDF. If you use the coupon code 6and20FAN, you get $5 off, and it'll help support us and do all the really cool things, and we can keep doing this more. I think that is about all that I have for tonight. So we're going to end things off with a raid, as we usually do, and we're going to go ahead and raid a wonderful man by the name of Spooner Sloth. If my raid command would work, why? It worked yesterday. Whatever. We're just
you gotta do /raid, not exclamation point.
No, I know. It's the exclamation point is the one that gives the raid call.
Oh. Okay.
But just go ahead and go raid him. Go ahead and we'll just spam whatever. If you got the sub emotes, use those. If you don't, use some sloths or something. He's a really cool dude, and he's currently playing Into the Breach. Awesome game from the makers of FTL. So we're gonna go over to him. So thank you guys so much for coming out and watching. You guys are wonderful as always. And I hope that we can see you all next time. And as always, don't forget to take it slow. Bye.
So I have a couple of